Indeed, we are ready to go. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby to start things off. Chris Ello will join us soon. We're going to play this game again on a travel day for Mr. Ello. I thought he would be here for all 4 hours.
That's what he told us.
That's what he said. That turns out to be false. We will cross that bridge when we get to it.
He will be here.
He will.
He landed.
According to him.
He landed. I saw.
Yes.
I checked.
But we don't know when the actual hotel part settled in the room will take place. That could be 10 minutes. It could be 4 hours.
Hey, Scrape, I have everything hooked up, but
This
don't know how to get the computer to turn on.
The more you continue to try to do Chris's voice, the more I'm getting more Simpsons.
What?
What is the gentleman? Is it Mo?
It's Mo from the bar. Mo Sislak.
I feel like I'm starting to get more Mo.
Maybe a little bit.
We got quite a bit here today. Dennis Lin will join us in the 2 o'clock hour. According to Chris, these are his words, he has a fantastic, fabulous sports game show.
I think he went as far as to say it's going to be an instant classic.
Indeed, he did. That's in the 3 o'clock hour. So you have to wait a little bit before we get to it, but it's supposed to be a doozy. We'll have our Chris versus the Fan in the 4 o'clock hour. Big Five also in the 4 o'clock hour. And where I want to start today is someplace I never probably in my lifetime thought I would be bringing up.
Oh, my gosh.
Sports Illustrated and their AI writing folks have picked up Matt Scraby.
Wow. No, they have not picked up Matt
Excuse
Scraby.
me, Mar Scraby.
Thank you,
M-A-R-R Scraby.
Thank you.
My jaw hit the floor when Scraby told me that. I walked in today, and we've been kind of, and listen, we can't confirm or come up with actual concrete proof that it's AI that's writing these articles for Sports Illustrated.
It's just very emotionless.
It really is.
It's just statements,
statements.
Yeah.
You got to remember, we all grew up on Sports Illustrated. It was a big publication.
We grew up when people were actually writing things.
Well, allegedly, we have come to the conclusion that this is AI. And so that's not the point. The point is that somehow the Scraby Chronicles was picked up. And I'm talking about transcribed word for word.
Yeah, this is crazy. I had Christina actually send this to me.
You know it might be AI because they have managed to make Mar Scraby look like an absolute expert. Scraby, take over.
Here's what it says. The title from Gabe Smolson, which also sounds like a fake name. Sorry, Gabe, if you're actually real, but I'm not buying it right now. Padres radio host says ownership lawsuit is, quote, hanging over San Diego.
This is straight from the Chronicles.
And there's this whole article.
This didn't happen on Gwynn and Chris. This happened on his watch.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the bottom, but then they talk about how Jerks and Profar left. And it says, Mar Scraby, M-A-R-R, of 97.3 The Fan, radio home of the Padres, insisted that it might be time to hit the panic button if this continues, which sounds like me a little bit.
Can go ahead, finish.
And then it just says, I basically, here's the quote, and it actually makes me sound a little smart because it doesn't feel smart when I say it, but quote, when Roki Sasaki says earlier this week that the number one reason he chose the Dodgers was because of a stable front office, and then Profar says he realized he was not going to be a Padre anymore once the ownership thing with the lawsuit happened, Scraby said, I think it's time for me to realize that this is actually an issue.
This sounds like you crying away.
It's not even an issue of who's doing what. It's just something that is hanging over the organization, and it's going to take a little bit to resolve. Anyway, I was floored when I saw that my comments were picked up by
like floored in a good way. Like,
yeah.
Yo, I'm about to say, bro, you shouldn't. I mean,
I sometimes
I know it's not the Sports Illustrated we grew up, but it's still Sports Illustrated though.
Yeah, it is still Sports Illustrated, and Christina sent this to me, so thank you, Christina, for sending this over. I had no idea
Now you
this
can
was
say
even out there.
I'm kind of like a big deal.
Mars Gravy is a huge deal.
Forget the fact that I didn't get your name right.
I don't even care. It makes it better. It makes it so. He spelled my last name right, but he couldn't spell the easier name.
Which usually people butcher.
Yeah, they usually SCRABEE, something
right.
crazy like that.
That is very interesting. Congratulations, man. That's kind of cool.
Thank you. I mean, you have been referenced in many articles, and so I'm
wait,
with you
how
now.
are we talking about me? We are talking about
because
you
I
right now.
feel like you now.
No. This is I can't recall being quoted in an SI article.
Well, that one about the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, bad. It didn't even get me right, by the way.
No, they quoted you wrong. It's amazing. So everybody, give a round of applause to Sports Illustrated today. I don't know, or go visit their AI article. But
congratulations,
thank
man.
you.
We're getting closer to Super Bowl Sunday. It's funny.
Sorry, hold on. KG says Mars Gravy is famous for his relationship with Arson Judge.
Makes sense.
Anyway, Super Bowl
Makes
Sunday.
Sense. Super Bowl's kind of had their shine stolen by the NBA. It's funny how we spent maybe the past couple of months talking about how basketball was kind of like dead and not people were not enjoying what they were watching, and in a matter of a day, not only is it kind of back at the forefront, but it's picked the week of Super Bowl, which typically nothing happens this week.
Nothing.
I remember the past 3 Super Bowl weeks leading up to, or the week of, having to at this point you are scraping the bottom. This is where we start getting into the prop bets. We've already used that at this point.
I don't know. I was getting a little nervous.
But it's kind of had its shine stolen. So yesterday it kind of got some of it back as they begin some of the interviews. You're seeing guys out there. The Chiefs, this is something that my guess is probably under Mars Gravy's skin a little bit.
Oh, this thing with the Chiefs that we're about to talk about?
Yes.
I woke up angry.
I'm sure he did. The Chiefs will be able to use the three-peat language after NFL reportedly strikes deal with Pat Riley. First of all, Pat Riley, smart businessman, way back in the 80s. He's like, this might mean something right here.
That is genius.
And so they had to go, the NFL, not the Chiefs, the NFL.
Yeah.
Had to go negotiate a little deal with old Pat Riley.
I'm
Meanwhile,
surprised.
Pat Riley is single-handedly keeping Jimmy Butler where he wants him right now.
Lots going on for Pat
He's
Riley
juggling
right
some
now.
things right
he
now.
He is. He's having meetings. Jimmy Butler's at Aztec games while they're playing games.
And he's like, Jimmy, I'm just going to keep taking this money from you every time you miss a game. But I imagine this Chiefs thing, someone like you would assume that this is somehow being cocky because they're already...
It's presumptuous beyond belief.
Oh, yes.
It's presumptuous beyond belief.
I figured that you had this thought. I really did.
Well, because...
It didn't take much for me to come to the conclusion that's where you were.
Think about it. No team has ever three-peated in NFL history. So why go out and put this...
Let me ask you a question.
Why put this in the universe?
Let me ask you a question.
What?
If indeed they three-peat,
yes,
who is in charge of making the shirts? Is it the Chiefs or is it the NFL?
I don't know. I would assume the NFL.
Yeah, you'd assume correct. So
I'm not assuming anymore. So I'm guessing the NFL.
Maybe this is more of a NFL thing than it is a Chiefs thing. It's not like the Chiefs was like, "Hey, Mr. Goodell."
Oh, I think they probably.
I think you should go ahead and reach out to Pat because we're about to win 3.
I think that's exactly what happened. I believe that Travis Kelce,
so full of it.
And then Taylor Swift in the background was like, "Hey Pat, you'll get some concert tickets if you let us use it." And then he was like, "Cool, pay me and get me some concert tickets and I'll use it." No, it's just I'm tired of the Chiefs. And I know that's because they're in the Super Bowl.
I get it. You see them every year. I'd be tired of them too if I didn't actually like them.
And I'm tired of the Super Bowl, what is it called? Media night or whatever, when the Chiefs have been asked everything. So they're boring now. They're not being asked anything.
Sorry, this is kind of how it goes when you keep showing up every year. They got to ask you the same questions. We already know the answers to them because they're there every year.
Our boss says if the Chiefs win, the NFL will want to print merch immediately, so they have to have the trademark. I get all that.
Thank you, Adam. I don't always agree with you, but you're spot on this one, buddy.
As a business major, I agree with
Clearly,
that.
you didn't. Yeah, clearly.
But I also
you didn't do well.
am a universe listener. I
A
listen to
universe
the
listener.
listen.
Could you explain? Could you explain?
I
that, please?
listen to the universe and I say maybe I shouldn't try and get this three-peat
Does the
trademark.
universe actually talk back?
No, I just follow the universe.
What?
I follow my path in the universe.
Oh my lord. Okay.
I follow the path. That's what, when I stopped drinking, Tony, I gave up the path to the universe, and so I follow that path. And if
You sound like a psycho right now.
Do I?
I must say.
do I?
Yeah, you do. You do.
Okay. I also actually. Oh, you want me to sound like a real psycho?
No,
Here we go. No, here we go. I actually saw an article over the weekend saying that Taylor Swift. Just wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Taylor Swift, or apology made to Taylor Swift after Super Bowl victory celebration. And then the article changed to something else after I clicked on it. So why are they putting out articles saying that the Chiefs already won the Super Bowl if it's not fixed? Why would they do that? Why would they title it?
What was the title?
It was apology made to Taylor
you
Swift.
look like you're having to recount this in your own brain. Like you don't know.
I'm gonna look for this.
Yeah, let's look for it.
Okay. I can't do it right now
Okay,
because we're on the
let's-
air. But...
I'm gonna let you look for it because we're gonna go to break here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're there. We're gonna go to break. I'm gonna let you look for it and then come with your more crazy theories.
Crazy theories.
Luka is in Los Angeles. He had a press conference today. We'll get into a little bit of that. All of the voters that voted for Ichiro,
Oh, the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah, that voted for him.
Yeah.
We all know who they are.
Yep.
They have revealed themselves. You know who didn't?
Probably the guy
The
who
one
didn't
guy
do
who
it.
did not.
Shouldn't be allowed.
We have to ask ourselves why. We'll talk about it on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris. chatting with Adam about
I think he's
Dallas, AD. He was making a point that a lot of people are making, which is they could have got a whole lot more for
the
him.
trade makes no sense. Yeah.
But the reality is they think AD is the missing piece for them. They got Klay Thompson. They got Kyrie. They got the two big men plus AD, so 3 now. They got a good man. That squad's going to be tough. Just
Well,
it
it's
out there now.
very easy for a Laker fan to be like, "Oh yeah, that
No, it's
squad's
not
going to be
because
tough."
they're literally in the same conference. So
I know,
that's
I know.
not that easy to
I
as you're
know,
gonna say.
I know. Adam
I
is
love
making.
I love Luka for year 26, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11, 31, 32.
32. Yeah, all of them. I love that.
He's 25 years old. I was listening to something on the way home last night from it was actually Bart Winkler's show. He had an NBA reporter on. Bill Ryder, that's who it was. He was just saying, like, this is, like, Luka is 25 years old. They just gave away their future. And there's got to be something that went down inside.
LeBron was going at Bill's head. On,
Bill
Ryder on Twitter.
Is he being
He
sensitive?
said,
Is
no,
he being
he's-
sensitive?
Bill said that LeBron was frustrated with AD, which is why
Oh.
he moved. Then LeBron replied, "Pinocchio nose, clown face
Okay,
emoji.
that's kind of funny.
You a lie," he said. So,
I mean, obviously he heard that from somewhere because we know Bill Ryder a little bit. Adam knows him
Yeah.
really well. He's
I've
not
been
just
on
making
Bill's show
up
many a
stuff.
time.
He's not just making up stuff.
nonetheless, we'll talk a little bit more about that trade here in a little bit. But I left you guys with Ichiro talk. There was one voter that prevented him from being the unanimous decision that pretty much everybody thinks he should be.
Yes,
And they all put their names on it.
they did. Not every one of them.
There's just one that did.
Yeah.
And that happened to be the one that prevented him from being the unanimous
First ballot.
first ballot Hall of Fame.
And he said at his press conference,
He wanted to have a beer with him.
"Come on over.
Talk it
Let's
out."
talk about it."
My man is not even bold enough to put his name on the vote. I mean, how do we feel about that?
I hate it. If you're going to have a stance like that, because it doesn't really matter to me like 100%, but it does matter to Ichiro. It does matter to those guys, but I absolutely hate it. This isn't representative of how people feel. And if you're going to hot take like that, saying that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, you got to have a reason why. You think that person's in hiding now?
I don't know if they're in hiding, but it says, well,
How many times did it
I
take
think
your
we
dad,
have to be
right?
careful.
Your dad was first ballot?
He was first ballot.
Yes.
Not unanimous, but first ballot.
Yes.
I think we got to be careful when we say that it's, I started to say that it says a lot about the voter. But in today's climate, I imagine if he put his name out there, there's going to be some people coming after him.
You have to understand that then when you send in your ballot. We're not it's not secretive.
I mean,
it shouldn't be
but
secretive.
it's one thing to go at him and be like, hey, this is ridiculous. But we know that's not typically how it goes. It starts to get personal. It starts to go beyond what it should be in terms of people saying
I agree with that.
disagreeing with his vote.
But if you're going to have a vote for the Hall of Fame, you got to have a little bit of a thicker skin.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, there's no doubt he should put his name out there, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I get why he or she is not.
Yeah, he or she, we should say, because
Yeah,
we don't know.
we don't know.
We don't know. But it's ridiculous, and Ichiro deserves to be in there unanimous, and Mariano Rivera, unanimous, makes that vote like that much more impressive to me, I guess, because he didn't have one detractor out there at all. There's like at least one Ichiro hater out there, and they're not going to be revealed.
No.
But do you think going forward the Hall of Fame is going to change this?
They should. It should be something that everybody, believes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the integrity should be in such a way that you should put your name on it.
Like the Cy Young and MVP award voting goes public.
Right.
People know who chose who. Like this, it doesn't like, I guess there's no checks and balances for this because people can do whatever they want if they have some personal slight. some of the voters won't vote in Barry Bonds and all those guys.
All right, let's not spend too much time on this, but
Okay.
yeah,
It made me mad though.
it is ridiculous. I think it when you see that every it'd be different if there was like 5 that kind of left their names out, but the mere fact that everybody put it out, almost like they were intentionally like, we dare you,
Trying
go
to
ahead.
smoke 'em out.
Yeah. It didn't work.
No. Didn't.
Let's move to the next thing. Now, I was thinking about this, and it'd probably be better. We probably should wait till Chris gets here to have this discussion.
We don't
but-
know when that's going to happen.
We know, but let's just put it out in the ether now for
Okay.
our listeners as well. As we move into the 2025 baseball season, what player on the roster, trying to figure out how I want to, are you most interested to see this season? Do you have the most interest in seeing this season?
Like as in importance or just overall curiosity? Overall, yeah.
How about both?
Okay.
Like who is the Padre that intrigues you most coming into the season for what they could do, what they will do?
I had
Your
someone pop in my
expectation?
mind real quick.
This one's really quite easy for me.
Really?
Yes.
Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go
I don't know if
first?
we should go because I said we should wait till Chris gets here. Be a more compelling conversation with Chris in the mix here. Just me and you. I'm kind of going to dominate you on this particular subject.
Well, I don't think there's a right answer. I think
I think there are a few right answers.
there are a few right answers. I'm not going with Manny Machado.
I don't want to know who you want to go with.
Not going with.
until just stop until Chris gets here. How about that? Let's just hang on to it.
You're punishing me and the listeners because Chris didn't show up to work on time.
You did mention a name though in terms of off-season free agents.
Yes, I was looking through who's out there, and this name stood out to me.
Ty France,
Yes.
right-handed bat, got a lot of those.
Sorry, Chris just texted us saying he's walking into his room. He'll get set up. Yeah, we do have a lot of those. But Ty France wasn't bad when he went to the Mariners. He struggled. And then he got
He wasn't
signed.
bad at all. He's an all-star.
Yeah, he got signed by the Reds after he left the Mariners. And he was a 250 hitter. He had some power for what he did there. I think, why not? And if we're looking for like quote unquote a cheap guy, I would think Ty France would be relatively cheap
Yeah,
for a first base position.
He can play first base position, so that's a positive. Just kind of looking out there to see, what's available. First base, guys like Anthony Rizzo. You mentioned Ty France, Rowdy Tellez, another first base, left-handed bat. Might be of some intrigue, but I don't know what those guys are looking for in the open market.
Oh, here's a name. Brandon Drury.
I saw that one pop up on my IG feed.
I keep seeing that too, and I don't know. He I guess he was worse after he left the Padres.
Was he?
Or like just
I don't know that he was worse. I
let me
think
see.
he kind of leveled out to what he was doing when the Padres acquired him, right? I mean, he had a big year leading up to the Padres acquiring him. I mean, I think he kind of leveled off, but he's still productive, right?
Last year he struggled with injury, but he hit 169. The year before 262.
Okay, I didn't follow him much last
He
year.
had
but
26 home runs in 2023.
when he's healthy, I mean, he's productive. I think he's kind of figured it out a little bit. Last year, as you said, he was dealing with injuries all season long, so tough to get into.
But he
rhythm.
could be
and he
another
was
guy.
on. And he was on a. Was he with the Angels?
Yes.
It's not a tough one. Tough
Yeah,
team,
he was.
too.
He was on the Angels
Tough
with
team.
Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon.
Some other names. Now, listen, the Padres seemingly have their fit for the infield, right? They're moving Bogey back to short.
Mm-hmm.
Crone to second.
Yep.
There's some infielders out there. Jorge Polanco, Kike Hernandez.
I think he's
did he sign?
he's back with the Mariners, I believe.
Signed with the Mariners. Okay, so Kike is still available out there.
I don't know about Kike.
What is it?
Too much history
I
there.
don't give a damn about no history.
He'll play okay left field, right?
He can play all over.
That's right. I mean, I have to put that behind me.
Yes, please.
Okay, I will.
All right, let's get to break. Dennis Lin on the other side. We'll talk some more Padre baseball when we return. Gwynn and Chris.
the clock. Let's see. There
Let's
it
go.
is, everybody. That was awesome.
We welcome in our our other partner.
That was worth the wait.
I think it kind of was. I think that was definitely worth
That was
the
cool,
wait.
dude. I've never seen nothing like
Yeah,
that.
I like
me
it.
either.
I mean, I've seen 3 numbers, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4.
But randomly just looking up there,
Bam.
bam, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The funny thing is, it happens every day on our show. It
does.
Never
Never noticed it.
Never dawned on
7
us.
years that clock sat behind my head, and no one's ever said that.
I think that's you gotta pay closer attention there, Mar.
Hey, Chris, I know you like to watch like the talkies from the 20s, but you're in
I know,
black
but
and
what is
white.
going on?
I can't figure out why
I don't understand.
you're in black and white.
Is he
I've
really
done the
black
exact
and
same thing I do every single time.
It's true. He's in black and white on the camera. I have no idea how you did that, but we're gonna deal with
Strasburg into the windup.
it. This is how you should be doing everything.
We welcome in Mr. LL. How was your travel?
It was fine. Nothing special other than we left a little late. So sorry to join you guys a little late, but we're here. We're safe and sound and ready to go today. I
wanna
if you
ask-
mentioned it, but go ahead.
I want to ask you something, and it's not for you to answer right now. Just start getting your thoughts together. All right, we're gonna have a segment on it at some point. In the going into the 2025 season, as it pertains to the Padres, what Padre are you most intrigued to watch this season?
Okay.
Keep it to yourself. Have some reasons for it. We'll get into it a little later on. Now, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, I just I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but I ran into Coach Dutcher this morning.
Oh, we did not mention that.
He is. I'm telling you. First of all, he's the nicest guy in the world, along with being the best coach. And the more I think about it, I mean, he's doing maybe his best coaching job this year. Considering how young this team is and how far ahead of schedule they are, and how he keeps them together despite all these crazy games. So it's always fun to run into him. And I know that he has other commitments, but he said he would definitely come on. So hopefully we'll have him on our show soon.
I'll reach out to Richard
And then-
and see if we can get that taken care of.
Get that.
Nice
yeah,
job,
and
Tony.
then-
Nice job.
And then
Just call me the
Well, as
co-producer.
usual, I don't go to Scraby for these kinds of things. I mean, guests, I know this is not really in his realm.
Not anymore, I guess. I have been
Yeah.
replaced.
Yeah. But then I ran into, and I don't know this young man, but I was sitting there and one of the players came in to the Jam Center and walked past, and I recognized him as he was going past. It was Nick Boyd.
Oh,
And
did you get the scoop?
Yes, please tell
I
us
thought,
you did.
am I gonna ask this kid straight up, what happened? And I kind of missed him the first time by, but then when he came back to back by me, yeah, I did. I go, all right, what'd you say? I go, what'd you say? And I think he was really nice. I mean, he knew I had my Aztec stuff, so I think he realized I might be connected with the women's team, but he didn't know me. But he was nice enough to, he said, look, he goes, I was in the heat of the moment. The game got the best of me. I was not talking to the official. I was talking to the player. And he leaned over and gave me a handshake and laughed, and off he went. So he didn't want to tell me. He wanted to give it up. And I don't blame him.
He didn't spill the tea, huh?
He did not spill the entire tea, but inquiring minds do definitely want to know, Nick. So
For sure.
maybe when we're celebrating the West Regional Championship, as you're cutting down the nets, you'll tell everyone.
At least if it doesn't get him in trouble. It sounds like he said something pretty terrible.
He must.
He must
we
have.
already. Well, we already talked about it. He got immediately ejected from the game. It
That
wasn't
doesn't
even a
happen.
question mark.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
Yeah, he definitely.
They were at
lost
home,
his
so
cool.
it wouldn't be like some sort of on-the-road type of foul. Right? They were at home when he was ejected? Yeah, it was
they
over
were
the
at home.
weekend.
I don't know. I didn't have a chance to tell him, but basically, I figured that he just went all Hurley on the guy. That's my new adjective now. If you act the fool on a basketball court, that means you've gone Hurley. Thanks to my friend, the Connecticut coach, and now his brother.
And I was about to say
at
both of
Arizona
them.
State.
Both of them acting bad now.
Oh yeah, both of them are acting kind of crazy. So.
I think Scraby's going to get Mr. Lin on the phone here shortly. Chris, I don't know if you saw that the Chiefs have been granted permission, or I should say the NFL has been granted permission from Mr. Pat Riley himself to use the three-peat.
I saw that.
That has pissed Scraby off.
It's so presumptuous that it's ridiculous. They have to win the game first to use the phrase, and they haven't even
so
played
you're
the
upset
game.
at that. I thought he was going to be upset at Pat Riley. And
I
here's the
should be.
thing. This is older than you, Scraby.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat Riley was smart enough. The minute the Lakers won their second championship, and I believe it was 1988.
I was alive.
So, okay, you were barely alive.
Yes,
First of all,
barely.
Okay, first of all, he did something that no coach had ever done the year before. And you may recognize this, Tony. When they won in 87, they had the parade, and he walked right up to the podium at the parade and he said, and now we're going to do it again next year.
Yeah.
And everybody looked at him like, you're crazy. You don't say that. But he put it right in his mind of his players right away. So he made good on that. They won the next year. And then he got the copyright to the phrase three-peat right then and there.
Yeah, they didn't do
So
it.
they didn't do it. They didn't quite make it.
But he was ready, though. He was ready.
But the Bulls did it pretty soon after.
Yeah, they had to pay.
And then the Lakers did it, and so he's cashed in big time on this, and you got to give him credit where it's due.
No doubt. All right, let's switch gears. Let's get back to some Padre baseball. No other person to discuss this than my man Dennis Lin of The Athletic. Dennis, how are you, man? Your off season is quickly coming to an end.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Chris. Yeah, it's a little bit sad, but I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate you and your Lakers. I know you guys never get any stars or any big names.
No, not enough.
So
Never.
I hope you're I hope you're enjoying this little honeymoon.
I am. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know what it means for this year, but certainly pretty happy about it. Be able to discuss it with you further when we get out to Arizona.
He has been beaming, Dennis, just so you know.
Just glowing.
Floating on air
Oh, I
for 2
bet.
days.
He knows. Diz hears from me all the time. We talk about the Lakers during the course of the season all the time. But let's talk about the Padres. Had a couple developments here as of late. Padres restructure. King's deal seems to kind of give them a little bit of space to maneuver. I thought it was interesting at FanFest to kind of hear AJ directly address the needs of this ball club. He basically said they need 2 bats, they need an arm. I mean, how do you see this kind of playing out? Is it going to play out the same way, in a similar way that it did last year? You get into spring training, see some new faces. How do you think this is going to play out?
Yeah, as far as additions, I think that's possible. Yeah, he's obviously waiting for the market for certain guys for their market to come down. Obviously, the closer you get to spring training, if you don't have a job, you're a baseball player, maybe you're your mid-30s, early 30s, you start getting a little nervous. Maybe you tell your agent, just take the next best deal. So that could be partly what Preller is looking for. Obviously, he did something similar last year with Turks and Profar signing him for $1 million. So his challenge in left field at least might be finding another one of those deals. At the same time, I think teams kind of see where the Padres are at, and in trade talks for guys like Dylan Cease, maybe less so Michael King now that he's signed this team-friendly deal that would probably indicate he's not being traded in the next few weeks, although you never know with AJ. I think just these guys in general, Robert Suarez is the guys that might be on the market. I think these teams probably are not making offers that AJ is super inclined to take right now, and he's hoping that as the season gets going, as spring training gets going, some of these offers improve, and maybe he sees something to his liking. But either way, he's going to keep those very high asking prices he always has. So would not be surprised by anything. I just know that if AJ is going to, trade a guy like Dylan Cease, he's going to make sure he gets a lot in return.
Dennis, let me ask you kind of something that I haven't really thought a whole lot about, because I think most of us feel that, he's going to make a deal or sign a free agent or two, right around spring training the way he did the last year and even the year before that when he got the likes of Michael Wacha and some people like that late in the process. If the Padres didn't sign anybody, let's say we're thinking, but let's just say they didn't sign anybody. it seems the pitching would be at least okay. I mean, you've got Waldron, you've got Vasquez. What would they do in left field the way it stands right now? What would they do at DH/first base? Is there anybody they're kind of high on that we're not aware of?
Well, I'm not sure I'm not sure they would be okay on the pitching side if they don't do anything. But I guess that's another discussion, right? But as far as left field, I think Tirso Ornelas, who got added to the 40-man last summer, he wasn't called up, but the fact that they added him, probably a good sign for his career. He had a good season in AAA. Now that's the Pacific Coast League, so you got to take those numbers with a pretty big grain of salt. But right now, as things stand, I mean, I guess he's at least very much in the running for maybe a platoon job in left field. I don't think that's ideal for a guy who's never played in the majors, and the guy who, if you, I guess, ask him scouts, he's probably not. He doesn't profile necessarily as a big league regular, so. No, the front office is still looking. Preller's still looking for a left fielder. I think Austin Hayes is someone they looked at. He signed for $5 billion with the Reds. I don't know if the Padres are close to that, but yeah, they're definitely out there looking, because right now left field DH, they're going to both big question marks, and I don't really see any super viable internal answers unless you're going to roll the dice on, again, a guy like Tirso Ornelas, who is very unproven.
Dennis Lin joins us here via The Athletic, and Dennis, what do you think the expectation level is for a guy like Yu Darvish? He's moving into the I would say the back end of his career. He's been very productive when he's been healthy. What do you think the Padres can expect out of a guy like Yu Darvish this year?
I think if you're banking on 30 plus starts, 180 innings at this stage in his career, that's probably a little bit much to ask. Obviously, we've seen, he's had some injury issues in San Diego, which probably pretty natural for a guy who's 38 now, going to be 39 in, I think, August. He obviously had the private family matter that kept him away from the team for a big chunk of last season. So through the Padres, you're counting him being around the team most of the year. It's just the health component, right? That's going to be the big question. And he's a pretty candid guy, and maybe sometimes things get lost in translation. But I thought it was interesting at FanFest. He said he's focused his offseason on trying to get better, I guess, function and movement in certain parts of his body, because he said, certain parts of his body are just getting tighter.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what he was referring to, but probably just talking about the passage of time and age. And yeah, he's this guy who's thrown a lot of innings. He's got a lot of different breaking pitches he throws. So he's definitely got a lot of mileage on that body. So I think if you're banking on 30 starts again, that's probably a little bit much. But I think the Padres would gladly take 25 plus starts of the kind of performance they saw last September when he came back, and especially into the postseason.
Dennis, as somebody who's just a tad older than you, Darvish, if you're wondering what some of those aches and pains are, just give me a call a little later. I'll be happy to share them all with you. They definitely pop up. Dennis Lin is with us from The Athletic. All right, so the pitching I touched on, you said they probably wouldn't be okay. But let's just say they trade a pitcher. I mean, you kind of mentioned it. Cease would be the guy that they would almost have to trade, or would you maybe lean toward the bullpen and Suarez? If you were a betting man and they trade somebody, who would you pick?
Ooh, that's tough. If I were to know they only trade one of those guys, I guess I would lean towards Suarez, because he's much more replaceable in theory than Dylan Cease. Now, the complicating factor if you trade like one of your top starters is I think Cease and King combined for somewhere around 360 innings last year, and now you're losing Joe Musgrove. You've got a lot of guys who, are still improving in Waldron and Vasquez. And I guess the old saying is you need a dozen or so pitchers or whatever starters to get through a season. And right now, if you look at what the Padres have in the rotation, I don't see close to a dozen like legitimate options. Obviously, guys are going to come up and make spot starts, and there's going to be long relievers throughout the year, but they just need more numbers. So if you're trading Cease, you better make sure you're getting some depth in return, especially on the pitching side. But yeah, I think if I had a gun to my head, I would choose one of those guys that you mentioned, Cease or Suarez, who's going to go. I would say Suarez, but I know there's a ton of interest in Cease, and he's also going to get you the most in return. So that's why I think there is a good chance he gets dealt sometime this year. Who knows when?
Dennis, last one before I let you go, and this is something myself and Chris are going to cover a little bit later on the show, but I want to get your opinion. I mean, of these two position players, in Jackson Merrill and Fernando Tatis Jr., who do you think is the most intriguing going in to 2025? Obviously, Merrill coming off of a should have been Rookie of the Year. Toddy coming off of kind of his first season back, had some injury. Who do you think is the most intriguing coming into this season?
Ooh, for me, that's another close call. But in the interest of reading too much into FanFest comments, I'll go back to Saturday where Tatis said, I guess he was asked a question about, he had said, he hasn't reached 100% of his capabilities, obviously because of injuries and other things throughout his career. And someone asked him, like, what are your abilities if you're 100%? And he said, I just paraphrase him, when he's right, when he's healthy and his mind's right, he thinks he's second to nobody in this game. So you make a statement like that right before a season, you better back that up. I know he kind of, put it out there a year ago saying he was looking for like a Ronald Acuna-like comeback from the surgeries, and that didn't quite unfold, but we saw what he did in the playoffs, and he looked like the best hitter on the planet for a couple of weeks there. So he's definitely capable of it. It's just, a matter of putting it all together and staying healthy. And on the other side, Jackson Merrill had pretty much the perfect rookie season. So how do players and how do teams adjust to him? How do pitchers adjust to him? And what adjustments does he make back? I think that's fascinating too. But for this one, I think since Toddy put it out there, I'll have to go with him.
Yeah, very interesting, especially between those two guys. Dennis, as always, man, appreciate you coming on, spending some time with us.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Chris.
Dennis Lin
Thanks,
of
Dennis.
The Athletic, just kind of laying the land down, laying what the scenery looks like in San Diego going into spring training, Chris.
It was interesting to me that he said, if they didn't make a trade at all, he's not comfortable with their pitching. And I guess what he's referring, because I think on paper right now, Tony, you would at least have an opening day 5-man rotation if you didn't trade any of them. I mean, you'd have Cease, King, Darvish. I think you'd go Waldron and Vasquez at least to start unless something changes in spring training. To me, that's a doable rotation. Now, it's always a little nerve-wracking to go into a season without a lot of depth or any depth really behind that, and maybe that's what he's referring to. But I just think it'd be interesting. I mean, you could sign Ty France. You could sign Alex Verdugo. I don't know if that's enough, but I'm inclined to try to keep all these pitchers. And, I'm kind of picking up where Harold Reynolds left off last week, talking about the fact that, your pitching is what got you where you went last year. Not, the hitting is there, kind of come and go, but you got these superstar pitchers. You want to hold on to them, and I'd like to see them do that.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that it's not an easy decision. And, I think the thing that you have to be careful of is one of the things that happened last year for the Padres that I think they were very fortunate is that when they were kind of hovering around 500, nobody really ran away and hit. I mean, the Dodgers did their thing, but even they started to kind of lose some games and never really lost a ton of ground. And then when the Padres got hot, they were able to kind of, close the gap on the Dodgers and kind of run away from everybody else. We just don't know how the season's going to play out this year. Will they have the breathing room? Will they have the leeway to kind of find their way as they did last year? It's what all these new seasons brings, a completely different kind of setup in how we get to the end point. So let's
you brought up a good point real quick about last year, because when they went to the All-Star break last year, the sixth playoff team the last playoff team in the National League was actually the Cardinals.
Yeah.
But they were only a couple of games ahead of the Padres. So you're right. The fact that the Padres did not have a great first half did not bury them in the standings and set them up to make that run.
Right. It allowed them to stay close for AJ to make those moves. If it had been different, who knows how all that shakes out. But beauty of a new completely blank slate in the 2025 season. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Daily Gambit when we return.
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Sorry about that. I put my cord out of my headphones so I couldn't hear anything. Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 3:01 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, Chris Ello, who has somehow found a new screen.
Yes.
The black and white version of what we have. And so, Chris, are you here? Are you with us?
I look pretty good.
I look
think,
pretty
don't
good.
you?
I think.
Hey, man, you look dashing, brother. You look dashing.
But I do think we need to figure out how to get you back on the color side of things.
I tried
during the break.
Press whatever buttons I could.
I
I get worried that I will go the other way,
Scraby,
and ruin the picture entirely.
Yeah, it's better than having no picture.
Oh yeah, definitely better than
that's
having
definitely
no
been a
picture.
thing on the road sometimes where we haven't been able to get his picture up.
You know what? Today was the
Connection's
least...
good today. It's not delayed. He's not not waiting for his long speech.
I just wish that everything can come together.
Beggars can't be choosy sometimes.
I don't know how Chris did this.
No kidding, man.
I don't know how he did this, but
how did I do? Why do you always blame me?
I told you,
Scraby. What did the little computer gremlin come in and change it to black and white?
So let's ask the chat out there. The chat is it bother you that Chris is in black and white?
Oh man, and the echo's back. It's always something with that camera.
The echo.
Yeah, Chris always has an echo for some reason.
I don't hear his echo.
Well, yeah, we don't hear it, but the people
everybody
out there
else hears it. Oh.
Yes, and then it's Scraby. There's an echo.
You know there wasn't an echo the last segment.
Well, there was when he first signed on. Anytime Chris signs on with reconnects to it, somehow his audio gets re-put on.
So you've gone an hour without mentioning he was echoing until now?
I turn it off, but this was the second time in the show he's echoing.
Oh my gosh! You see what they do?
You can't win.
You can't win. You can't.
If you're me, you can't win. It's as simple as that.
And I'm not blaming
Sounds
you,
like
Chris,
you are. The
but
gremlin
there's only one person or living organism that is.
So you're blaming him.
Maybe Lori did it.
You're blaming him. All right, let's go ahead. Let's
not really. It's not really.
Let's just stand on it.
It's not really something that needs to be blamed.
Yeah, we kind of blame him.
But I do think it's funny that the guy who always has the technical issues is in black and white right now.
You know what? This is an old argument that I'm really tired of because I take care of all of my technical stuff on my own. I get set up for every basketball game I do. I get set up for every show. I think I do a pretty good job. Now, how in the world the color went away?
Here we are,
it's beyond me,
wasting 3 minutes of our precious listeners' time talking about color.
I like to offer.
By the way, most of our
online.
people are listening on the radio too.
No, I know, but there are YouTube audience as well. There's a YouTube, and I would like for our product to look good each and every day.
Yeah, sure you do.
Well, then
you're
how's
saying
it
I want it to look
you...
crappy?
No, but it can only look so good with you smack dab right in the middle.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Oh wow! I got told on the chat to respect elders.
Yeah, respect your elders.
I did nothing wrong. Gosh. You know, that's the second time that someone has told me to be nicer to Chris.
You've been having a hard time with older people here lately. Whether it's the dog part, whether we're here. You've been kind of going in on old people.
You can learn a lot from people like us, Greg.
I do learn. I learn on how not to be technologically. I was going to say something and I didn't want to go there.
All right, let's
not to be a technological misfit.
Way nicer than I was going to say.
Let's play some Daily Gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Well, nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly.
What were you going to say? You about to talk some
No,
trash?
the chat is great because they think that it's very fitting that Chris is in black and white. And one person posted it's kind of like Pleasantville. The nicer he gets to me, the more color he gets into his screen. So Chris has to be a little bit nicer to me, and he'll get some more color back in his screen.
Feeling the Reese Witherspoon vibe.
What is that?
She was the star of Pleasantville.
Come on, man.
Get with it.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in forever. She was? I haven't seen that movie in forever. Terrible movie, by the way. All right. Do you guys agree? Tony's turning his back to me. I guess he doesn't agree.
Anyway, let's go ahead. Where we go?
OKC last night. The Thunder, 16-point favorite over the Milwaukee Bucks. I guess the Bucks sat everyone.
Which we told you before you made your pick.
I did. I thought that 16 points was a lot. It wasn't, because the Thunder won 125-96. You guys chose the Thunder. The Knicks minus 6.5 over the Rockets last night. Chris and I chose Rockets. Tony chose the Knickers.
Couldn't give me. They couldn't give me a half a point.
Nope. Knicks win 124-118, but they did not cover. So we win that one, Chris. Shea Gilgeous.
The hanging Chad.
Yes, Alexander over under 34.5 points in his game.
Too.
This is ridiculous. We all went over. He had 34 points. He needed one more.
No,
point.
I went under. I went under. I did. That's what I wrote.
Wow, it's really easy to just change your.
This is what happened when Scraby's not paying
I
attention.
usually do that because this means so much to me.
he's multitasking.
Yesterday,
again.
when we were doing these bets, it was on the heels of Tony saying he wanted the Knickers to win, so I couldn't focus. Okay. Iowa State at Kansas. Kansas 3-point favorites. Chris and Tony went Kansas. I went Iowa State. I was way wrong. Kansas wins by 17, 69-52. Duke at NC
Brock
State
Purdy
women's.
cost you, Scrape.
Yeah,
He did. Duke minus 3.5 at NC State, the women's team. Chris said NC State. Tony and I said Duke. NC State wins 89-83.
That was a rough day right there for
That
me.
is a rough day.
Did you total my score up, Scrape?
Undefeated?
Is that true?
Yeah, undefeated.
Well, after you changed that one, after you knew the result, you're undefeated. But
yeah, I changed all 5 last night after the results.
Scrape, you're such a bad loser.
I am a bad loser, which should tell you something that I'm competitive, okay?
But you're on the losing side a lot.
We'll probably
though. You
see
shouldn't
more
be a
losing.
You have a lot of practice losing. You should
We'll probably see more of it a little later in the show. We got an excellent Fantabulous sports game show coming up.
I don't even want to play anymore.
He has no reaction to that.
I don't even
well,
wanna play
we
anymore.
already talked. We already been talking it up. Scraby's just salty that he's about to take another L.
Go ahead, Chris.
Look at that look.
Go ahead, Chris.
All right. For those of you on the radio, you're missing out, really.
The
because
look is
Scraby look-
of just pure anger.
Yeah, disgust.
Disgust.
All right, we got six basketball games tonight. I don't have any crazy ones. Just all straight up bets against the spread. Boston Celtics at Cleveland tonight. Good matchup in the East. Tony's showing me the palm of his hand.
Trying to get the camera back on him.
Yeah, AI is locked in now.
Oh, got it. I was trying to read your palm there, Tony. I think your daughters are heading for a prosperous future.
Oh, Miss Cleo.
Palm reader, all right.
Miss Cleo.
I was palm reading there. Boston 1.5 favorite at Cleveland. I'll start. I hate Boston, but I think they're going to psych up for one game here at Cleveland. I'll take Boston. I know you're taking Cleveland, Tony.
Yeah, I
It's not in your DNA,
I saw another stupid quote by their head coach the other day.
Missoula.
Missoula came in after all the trades. He's like, "Don't ask me about the trades. I don't really care." Like, don't be a tool, man.
Yeah, just answer
Just
the
answer
question.
the question.
Just like
Everybody cares about this trade.
Everybody's being asked about it. Just answer the questions. You don't have to be this way. We get it.
It's
we
good for
get
your
it.
league.
Yeah,
Joe.
we get it. You're smart.
Him really,
Joe.
him winning the finals last year really boosted his
it
ego
really
a little
did.
bit, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Oh, I'm going Cleveland too.
You're also taking. I really should switch, but I'm not going to. Scrape. I'll take
Okay,
Boston.
good.
Tonight, the Lakers. I don't think they have anybody new. They'll play out the Clippers. Clippers are favored by 8 points here, Tony. You're up. I know who you want to win, but are you?
Of course, I'm
buying
taking the
into,
Lakers, baby.
LeBron by himself. Lakers by himself.
You know,
Spread.
we didn't have AD last game, so it's just all the same team.
Yeah, but now you don't have Christie and whoever else you let
Chris.
go.
Sorry, Christy.
Don't worry, Bronny will help.
Bronny gets some
Ronnie's
playing
supposed
time
to be
tonight.
here in San Diego on Saturday.
Are you gonna go?
Think so.
All right. I mean,
And
I would
Jaden,
be
you know what?
interested in
Jaden
seeing
Ledee is
Bronny.
playing.
Oh yeah, that's
Jaden
right.
Ledee is playing here as well with Salt Lake City. I
Yep.
don't know what day that is,
okay.
but Jaden Ledee's coming also.
I'm gonna
Scrappy,
go-
did you make a pick?
No, I'm gonna go Clippers.
That's
Clippers.
crazy.
That's crazy.
I'll support Tony Gwynn Jr.
Thank
the
you,
Lakers
sir.
are psyched up after the trade. Miami at the Bulls. The Bulls are bad before they let Zach LaVine go. Now they don't have anything. Miami doesn't have Jimmy Butler, so this is interesting.
I'll
Scraby. Miami's favored by 3.5. Scrabe, you
I
gotta
know.
speed
I'm
it up.
thinking.
Come on.
Okay, fine.
Speed it
All
up,
right,
buddy.
I'll just go Bulls.
Heat.
Bulls.
Tony
I
says
gotta go the Heat too. I'm a pretty good predictor on the Bulls. They're not winning this one. Couple of college games. Number one, Auburn is 17.5 over Oklahoma. Sooners going to Auburn. I believe I'm first. I will take Oklahoma to keep it close. I saw Auburn the other day. I was impressed, but I'm not ready to give them the national title yet. Tony?
Yeah, Oklahoma covers.
Oklahoma was 17.5. Scrape?
I'm just gonna go against you guys. Auburn.
You may. UCLA is home tonight. They're favored by 1.5 over 9th-ranked Michigan State. Tom Izzo and company. Tony.
Wow, that's a lot of points.
1.5? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
that's a
said
lot.
9.5.
Give me the Bruins.
No, they're 9th-ranked.
Gotcha.
Who'd you say, Tony?
Give me the Bruins.
Bruins. You're buying into Mick Cronin now. He's the mad scientist that's starting to work. Scraby.
I'm gonna go with the Spartans.
Spartans!
I'm going to go with them also. They lost to USC. I don't think they want to lose both. I'll take the Spartans as well. That's it.
All right.
Let's get to break. When we return, more Gwynn and Chris. Here's some traffic. in Vegas National Contest is your chance at the ultimate trip to Las Vegas. All you have to do is download the Odyssey app, log in, and listen to 97.3 The Fan for at least 1 hour to earn your daily entry into the national contest. The grand prize is travel and accommodations for a winner and 3 guests to Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas premium sports viewing destination where you can watch the biggest March Madness hoops party and stadium swim, plus $20,000 cash. Welcome in, Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr.
Take it from Scraby and I, man. That Circa place
Circa's legit.
Is a feast for the eyes.
It is
you're
indeed.
A sports fan.
You like sports, you like pool, you like Vegas. Circa's the spot for you.
I also got the betting experience because I made a parlay while I was there, and it was Ellie De La Cruz needed like a hit, and every time Chris and I saw Ellie De La Cruz on the screen, we stopped to watch, and he struck out every time. Every time.
Welcome to the land of Scraby's parlays.
Like, that's all I needed to win. And he struck out everything. And Chris and I would be like, oh, we're stopping on the middle of the street to watch Ellie De La Cruz strike out.
Punch.
He did that a lot, though. So
He did a lot of good things. That was one of the things that was not so good. All right. I asked both of you two astute gentlemen who was most intriguing for you in 2025. We'll start with you, Elo. Who is your most intriguing watch for the Padres in 2025?
Well, Gwynn, you don't call me Elo very often.
I don't.
But it's okay because
it's flowing off the tongue easy
A lot of people
today.
do. Yeah, no, a lot of people do call me that, so it's just fine. I know that, you brought up to Dennis Lin. Obviously, Jackson Merrill is a big deal. I worry about the sophomore slump, not because it's Jackson Merrill, but because I've seen it happen to a lot of great players, and I just hope it doesn't happen to him. I'm not too worried about Fernando. I think he's going to have a big old year. So I'm going to go with the most intriguing player for me is going to be Jake Cronenworth. 2 years as an all-star following a season in which he was second in the Rookie of the Year balloting. Each of the last 2 years, no all-star team for Jake. That doesn't say it all. Obviously, 2023 was a year he'd rather forget. He did bounce back pretty nicely last year in terms of 83 RBIs. I'd like to see the average come up a little bit. The OPS, inch a little bit closer to that 800 mark, which is what he had in 2020 and in 2021. I know he's capable of it. He's married now. He's relaxed. He can settle down. Hopefully he's just playing second base, too, which I think has been a factor.
Yeah, for sure.
In him, moving all over the diamond. People don't understand that. It changes a lot of the way you prepare sometimes. It's hard to get in a good groove. And I think Jake having a good year is going to be really important based on the way things sit right now. So he's going to be my guy.
Scraby, most intriguing watch.
I'm going to go a little off the board because I could go easy. I could be like Fernando needs to have an MVP year, Jackson Merrill.
I didn't ask you what they need to do. I just said, who's your most intriguing watch?
Tyler Wade.
Tyler Wade.
Tyler Wade is because he can play almost every position on the field. He's a good base runner. He's a guy that is able to go in there and play defensively when they need him to. And Jackson Merrill's comments about Tyler Wade over the weekend about how awesome he is and how much he loves him and how much he's telling him showing him how to play professional baseball. I feel like Tyler Wade found a place that loves him, and he's going to be better this year. He's going to be. Tony.
It's hard to believe on a team with the
Did I steal yours?
that they have. No,
okay.
You didn't. Oh,
no,
really?
you did.
I can't believe you stole Tony's with Tyler Wade.
Well, the only reason I didn't want to go with any of the easy answers.
This wasn't a trick question.
I know,
it
but
really
I didn't want to go with the
Nobody's-
easy answer.
Okay, fine.
Nobody's an easy answer. I mean,
that's
Tyler
your choice.
Wade,
I was trying to
what
think.
kind of an impact can he possibly have unless he's going to double his plate appearances this year? And where's he going to do that?
Fine, I'm never going to talk again.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to pick Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh, okay. The easiest guy to pick in the world.
It wasn't a trick question.
It doesn't matter if you take a hard or an easy one. Just take somebody who makes sense.
Who's the most your intriguing watch? T-Wade, love T-Wade. Good dude. Good professional.
I want to change it.
Does his job well.
I'm going to change it.
I'm going to say Fernando Tatis Jr. Fernando has yet to put it all together. He has yet to play, I think the most games he's played in the season, 141. He hasn't. If he could get to the 150 mark, I have a hard time believing we get anything less than like MVP type numbers. He just hasn't been able to get there with any consistency. I mean, his best year arguably was 21, right? He had the 42 homers. He had 97 RBIs. The following year, he actually played more games, but it was also the first year back playing baseball consistently. Remember, he suspended for the 22 season virtually. So
he was hurt before.
That's unbelievable when you look back on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the whole season he didn't get to play.
Right. And so, I think the injury last year kind of derailed what could have been a pretty – he only played 102 games last year. He still hit 21 homers. The year before he played a 140 game, had 25. So he was on his way to, some big numbers. Where he hits in the lineup will determine how big the numbers can get. But if he has a healthy season, I'm not even saying play full all 162, but if he's healthy all year or close to it, I think he could have a monster year.
I think I overthought the exercise.
You clearly did. You clearly
and so I'm
overthought
going to
it.
go with an easier one.
No, you're done. Your time's up.
No,
you missed your
Xander
opportunity.
Bogaerts
Nah,
is the
Xander
Bogaerts.
Nah.
Well,
we go revisit this T-Wade.
Xander Bogaerts.
No.
Xander Bogaerts is now my new player.
You had. I actually gave you the question before the show started.
I thought we were actually picking someone that wasn't a starter.
Wait, did I say that?
No, I guess I just took it that way.
Let's tell everybody how I asked you.
I don't remember.
What I said was, Scrape, I got a good idea for a segment.
Yes.
And I think I said, how do I want to word this so that it's easy to understand? I think I said, how about who is the most intriguing player of 2025? And then left it at that.
I get what you're saying. I just didn't think you guys were going to take the easy way out and go with Fernando and Jake Cronenworth.
It's us taking the easy way out, huh?
Xander. Xander's my answer.
So we got
I know.
We got a T-Wade. We got a who'd you pick, Chris?
Scraby's going to be paying very close attention to T-Wade this year now.
Jake Cronenworth, and we got Fernando Tatis Jr.
I'm not going to feel bad about my choice,
but
I am going to take the easy way out next time.
There's no easy way. You just did a Scraby on this.
Just pick a player who plays on the team, Scrabe.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Xander Bogaerts.
Great work. Great work. All right. Let's get to break. When we return, Chris's excellent Fantabulous Sports Game Show is next, and I can't wait. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Coming up.
No, if you are watching on YouTube, that is not your eyes deceiving you. I figured out how to come to you again in living color.
Very nice.
Actually,
job.
I just kept pressing buttons, and I finally found one that works. So
Yes.
here we are.
Does that make you happy,
Gwynn and
Scraby?
Chris.
Scraby,
No
there you
kidding.
go.
Now,
Are
what's
you
he going to
happy?
complain about now?
You happy he's in color? You finally decided to bless him with some color?
You turned off the lights, and now you got like half of a dark face.
Oh my gosh!
I'm just kidding. I'll take this any day over everything.
It's always
else.
something.
He's kidding, but he's not kidding. He got that.
He's not kidding. No,
he
he's
got
upset.
that little shot off for sure.
Yes, he did. Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. We've arrived at that time of the week where these guys go head-to-head in something we call the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. Today it will have a big twist to it, guys.
Oh, my.
We'll get to it right after we check some traffic, if it's ready.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Already plenty of trouble spots on our roads this afternoon. Eastbound 8 near Fletcher Parkway. There's a collision involving a couple vehicles. That's over to the right shoulder. Also reports of a crash on southbound 15 before Friars Road. Couple vehicles involved there over to the right shoulder. Northbound 15 seems to be having some problems. Crash past Miramar Road. Tow trucks on scene trying to clear that out of the fast lane. Another accident reported up ahead right around Valley Parkway. Couple vehicles involved in that. It's in the center divide. Then a crash up ahead before Deer Springs Road. Those vehicles are over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danek with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, all you beautiful people out there, it's time to play one of our favorite games of the week.
All right!
We like to call it...
Ooh, I'm gonna go.
Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show! And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, welcome to it. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you love Mediterranean food like we all do, try Spiro's authentic Mediterranean cuisine. Coronado, La Jolla, dining or takeout options, spiroscuisine.com. All right, guys, we're going to get to it. A little something different. Normally we alternate. We give you a category. You give correct answers. Today it is straight up Super Bowl trivia.
Wow.
Straight up Super Bowl trivia. I got 22 questions for you.
Oof.
And there are, in honor of the Super Bowl, a total of 58 correct answers.
Oh, my goodness.
So if you get them all right, you could score 58 points. I don't think you'll get them all, but you will get a lot of them. So, yeah, I'm going to need you guys. You guys got to be honest today.
Okay.
Because I'm not there.
Okay.
You're going to have to write down your answers.
Okay.
And then when you're ready, you'll have to say your answers.
Okay.
I will try not to give it away.
All right.
So here's how it's going to work. First question of the day, and you can play along out there. See how many of the 58 points you can get. First question, name the two quarterbacks who have thrown for over 400 yards in a Super Bowl game.
Oh, man.
The two quarterbacks that have thrown for over 400 yards in a Super Bowl game. You guys are ready with your answers? Let me know.
Tony and I just looked at
You
each
don't know
other
either
like,
of the
oh,
two?
God.
Hold on, I'll try. Hold on, give me a second. What is that?
You got
guy's
time.
name?
Two guys have thrown for over 400 yards in a Super
Oh.
Bowl game.
Oh, got it.
Scraby thinks he's ready. Tony's ready. All right, Scraby, give me your answer first. I will not tell you whether you're right or not, and then we'll get Tony's answer.
Okay, so I have to give you two answers.
Give me two. You got two choices here, and if you get one right, you get 1 point. If you get them both right, you get two.
All right. I'm going to go with Steve Young and Russell Wilson in that Super Bowl they blew out the Broncos.
All right. Steve Young, Russell Wilson. Tony, who you going with?
I'm going Brady and Foles.
Ooh, that is a
Brady
good
and Foles.
one. Oh, no.
First point of the day goes to Tony Gwynn Jr., but only one. The two quarterbacks that have thrown for over 400 yards are Tom Brady. Brady got 505 against the Eagles.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And he got 466 against the Falcons. Back-to-back years he did it. The other one to do it was Kurt Warner, way back when. Super Bowl
Young didn't
34
do it against the
Chargers? Titans. He did not. Not
Wow.
400.
Ah.
So Tony leads 1-0. I think some of them will be easier. Some of them will be harder.
Okay.
I think
knew
this
that
will be
Foles
easier
was
because we
involved
did.
in a 400 one. It was just Brady doing it against him.
Brady did it against him. All right, we covered this category a little while ago in a Fantabulous, so I think you guys could get this. Name the 4 cities that have hosted at least 5 Super Bowls.
Okay.
4 cities have hosted 5 Super Bowls. You get 4 guesses here. And for each right one, obviously you get a point. When
Wait,
you're ready,
now we talking about like the city itself has hosted 5.
the city / area, yeah, the city. Yeah. The same way we did a couple of weeks ago when we had it as a category in the Fantabulous Sports Game Show. These 5 cities are all cities, or 4 cities, and they've hosted at least 5.
I'm done. I think.
Hold up, I'm not
Scraby's
done
ready?
yet. I'm not ready.
think.
I'm not done yet.
All right,
I'm thinking this might be a
All right.
2-day event.
I'm ready.
I don't know if you guys are going to make it through today. Tony's ready?
Yeah.
Okay, give me your 4, Tony. You go first this time.
4.
Yes.
I just went 2 again. Okay.
All right, what you got?
We're going to go New Orleans, Atlanta, L.A. What do I want to put for my 4th? Minnesota. Or say Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Scraby, what do you got?
I got New Orleans, Miami,
Ah, dang it.
Atlanta, and then the 4th one I am not sure, so I said Glendale, Phoenix.
Definitely. That was only 2.
Yeah,
Glendale,
I don't
Phoenix.
know.
Tony's going to get a point for L.A., Pasadena, and New Orleans.
Oh, I changed LA to Glendale.
And Scraby is going to get one for New Orleans and Miami. The other 2 are Pasadena, L.A., which you said, and Tampa. Tampa was the one you guys had not named.
Atlanta? Wow, I'm
Tampa
surprised
has
that Atlanta was
Atlanta's
around
just
yet.
Atlanta's not had 5.
I think they're
Yeah.
just short. What was the
So
last
Tony
one you
leads
said?
3-2.
Tampa.
Tampa. That was the other
Tampa.
one.
Yeah. It's Miami, New Orleans, L.A. / Pasadena, Tampa. Name the 2 teams with the most Super Bowl victories. Pretty straight up. Name the 2 teams with the most Super Bowl victories.
All right.
Scraby's ready. Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yeah, ready.
is ready, I think. All right, what do you got, Scrabe?
Patriots, Steelers.
Patriots, Steelers. Tony?
Patriots, Steelers.
Both are correct. Both have won 6 Super Bowls. Nice job. Tony leads 5-4. Name the only running back to rush for over 200 yards in a Super Bowl game.
Ooh.
The only running back to rush for over 200 yards in a Super Bowl game.
Can we get a hint?
Thank you, Tony.
I really could give you a couple of hints.
Give
I will
us a
tell you
time
he's not
frame.
a Hall of
He's not,
He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer. He did it in the state of California.
He did it in the state of California. Did Tony just write something down?
I did.
Tony wrote something down.
He might be a Hall of Famer, though. Oh.
I have no idea, but I got it. I wrote something down.
All right. What'd you write, Tony?
Riggins.
John Riggins.
dang it.
Okay. He had a good Super Bowl up in the Rose Bowl. Scraby.
This is definitely wrong. Work done.
Work did definitely did.
Work done.
I mean, I
Did
felt
he
like he
even
played
play
for
in
the
the Super Bowl?
Bucks. I don't know.
The guy who did it actually did it in San Diego. for the Washington Redskins.
I couldn't remember
against
his name.
Denver.
Something Smith?
His name is Timmy Smith. Timmy Smith. It's an all-timer because he only gained about 600 yards in his career. But he had 200 in the Super Bowl.
Might as well
Makes no sense.
do it then.
I know, big time.
If you're going to do it, do it. Name the two teams that played in the highest scoring Super Bowl game. Total points between the two teams. Which two teams was it? The highest scoring Super Bowl game. Most points total between the two teams.
All right. I'm not sure, but I'm got one.
Is it my turn?
Graves ready, Tony?
Yeah.
I don't know who went first. I
think
think
you went.
Scraby's up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who do you got, Scrabe?
Eagles Pats
Eagles Pats.
from Nick Full Day.
Tony, what you got?
I also have Eagles Pats.
Eagles Pats, 41-33, 74 points. The all-time record is 75 points. 49ers over the Chargers.
I thought about it. 49-26. I was like, why am I not just going with my gut?
I like this style right
Yeah.
here. It forces you to think on your feet here.
Go with your gut, Scrabe. Still 5-4. Tony's ahead. All right, name the teams that won and lost in the largest point spread upset in Super Bowl history.
What?
I think you should know this. It's been talked about a billion times.
Give it to me again.
Name the teams that won and lost the game in the largest point spread upset in Super Bowl history.
I literally have no
I don't even. I'm just.
No, I know the question is like.
It was the biggest spread
Right.
where the underdog won the game.
Yeah.
Oh, what does the lost part come in? Won and lost.
The
Well,
teams
oh,
involved.
the teams
Teams
the team that
involved.
won.
Yes.
Right, name the two
okay.
teams involved. Right. I think you should know this. Don't overthink it.
All right.
Tony, you got an answer?
Yeah.
All right, you're first, Tony. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go back to the Eagles Patriots.
Eagles Patriots. That was a 7-point spread. That's not going to be enough, I don't think. Scraby, do you have it?
I think Chris and I talked about this recently. I think. Was it the Jets and Colts from Joe Namath days?
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was.
Ah!
17-point favorite.
We did talk about this like 2 weeks ago.
It might not
You
even
got
be
it,
that long
Scrabe.
ago.
Good job.
Wow.
The Jets were 17-point underdogs in Super Bowl III.
That is crazy that they won.
Yes. All right, so Scraby's taking the lead, 6-5.
Taking the lead.
I got 2 points right there.
Okay, here's
Oh,
a
you got
question.
2 points. Ah, okay.
Yeah, you get 2 points. You got them both. All right, here's a question that only I could come up with. Name the only two teams that currently wear a white helmet as their main helmet that have won a Super Bowl. Two teams that currently wear a white helmet as their main helmet. I know a lot of teams have some alternate helmets now.
White is their
main
main
helmet.
helmet.
White is their main helmet, and there's two of them that have won a Super Bowl game. Who are they?
Done.
Scraby's done.
I'm not a
Feels
fan of you, Scraby.
Scraby's feeling it.
I
a
could be
little bit
wrong.
here.
I mean, I'm going with my gut from now on.
Well, it worked last time.
Why can't I see any white helmets right now? It's amazing.
That's amazing.
Tony's thinking through the helmet. You know me, Tony. I'm crazy on helmets.
They won it too. That's the interesting part.
Yeah, they both have won the Super Bowl with white helmets.
I got one. I can't think of the other one. Go ahead. Is it my turn? Or is your turn, sir?
Well, why don't you go first, Tony? Why don't you just pick a squad? You might get it.
Colts is one.
Colts is one.
Cardinals didn't win. Yeah, I can't think of the other one.
All right,
You're
so
gonna
he's
kick
going
yourself.
Colts.
I know I'm gonna kick myself.
You're gonna kick yourself because I'm gonna
Who is
also
it, Scrabe?
also go Colts and The Dolphins have a white helmet.
Yes, they do. Colts and Dolphins. Brady gets 2, Tony gets 1.
Wow.
You know what?
The other 3 teams that currently wear white helmets. The other 3 teams that currently wear white: Chargers, Cardinals, Bills. None of them have won a Super Bowl.
I thought about the Dolphins, but then the whole Dan Marino thing threw me off in my head.
Got to remember those undefeated
There was a time
teams.
before Dan Marino.
Yep.
Yes. Name the 2 quarterbacks who have won the Super Bowl as starters for 2 different teams.
Oh, wow.
2 quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl as starter for 2 different teams.
There's 2 of them?
There's only 2 of them. There's only 2. Scraby has an 8-6 lead. We're doing our Super Bowl trivia today. These guys are doing okay.
I think I have it, but I know one for sure.
Tony's
Not sure
ready?
about the other one.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Scraby, what you got?
I got Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Okay. Tony, who do you have?
Same.
They are the correct answers. Brady won with New England and Tampa Bay, and Manning won with Indy and Denver.
Oh, that was over. The Indy one was over the Bears. I wasn't sure.
That's correct.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You got him. You stuck with your gut. It's working for you. 10-8. Name the 3 players who have won 3 or more Super Bowl MVPs.
Oh, wow.
3 players with 3 or more Super Bowl MVPs.
In the history.
In the history, yeah. In the history books. 3 guys have 3 or more
Done.
Super Bowl MVPs. Scraby's ready. Scraby's kind of putting the pressure on here. He's like he's answering, and then he's like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it
Trying to
either,
get
right?
Tony
At all.
thinking. She's trying to get Tony thinking.
Give it to me. Get 3 guys that have won
3 or more Super Bowl MVPs. Only 3 guys have done it.
All right.
Tony's ready. Who you got, Tony?
Brady, Montana, Bradshaw.
Okay. Scraby, who do you have?
I'm gonna go Bradshaw, Brady, and Mahomie.
Homeboy.
What was the third one you said?
I said Montana.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah.
I'm not sure about
The
any of
answers
them.
are Tom Brady, Joe Montana, and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
I think
wow.
you guys each got 2.
Terry Bradshaw didn't make it.
No.
Wow.
Terry Bradshaw won 2. He did not win a 3rd.
Dang.
Very good. Mahomes has already got 3, which is just crazy.
That is crazy.
Montana, obvious, not obvious, but he had 3, and Brady has
I
5.
feel like Jerry Rice would have stole a couple from Montana.
Jerry Rice stole 1.
Okay.
All right. We're going to have to extend this game.
What?
Because we're nowhere near done.
Well, let's hurry up.
Well, I will, but we're not going to make it through all the questions.
I mean, we didn't need
Name
50
the court.
questions.
You might need these to get the victory, son. Let's go.
Name the quarterback who threw the longest touchdown in Super Bowl history.
Wow.
One guy who threw the longest touchdown in Super Bowl history.
Oh, my Lord.
You guys are all going to be ready for
All
the
right.
game on Sunday.
Longest touchdown.
I'm guessing, but I got one.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Oh, that changes my answer.
Oh. That helps a little.
A little.
I mean, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Scraby?
I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer yet. He will be. Drew Brees?
Drew Brees,
Yes.
longest touchdown. Tony?
Going with Foles.
You love that Eagles-Pats game.
I think we talked about it one time. That's why I put it in there. It's actually Jake Delhomme,
Oh,
Carolina.
that's right, to Muhammad, right?
Muhammad, 85 yards against the Patriots on the day that Janet Jackson had a wardrobe
It's
malfunction.
funny how Chris never will forget what happened in that game.
Yeah, I know. All right, one more for this segment. Name the 2 teams with the most Super Bowl losses. The 2 teams who have lost the most Super Bowls.
All right.
Wow, Scraby's ready right away. Again, he's trying to put the pressure on you, Tony. I feel it.
I'm ready.
Scraby, who do you have?
Most losses? I mean, the 49ers are racking those things up. So I'm going to go 49ers and Bills.
All right.
I'm going to say
Tony?
Bills and Pats.
Pats is correct. They've lost 5.
Wow.
The other one is Denver Broncos have lost 5.
I just closed the gap a little bit, baby.
Dang it.
Bills lost 4 in a row, and those are the only 4 they've been in.
My hatred for my team.
I think the 49ers have only lost a couple, Scrape.
They've lost 3.
3, yeah, 3.
The last 3.
All right, we'll take a break. Tony's leading, or Scraby's leading 12-11. You guys let me know how you want to conclude this. But I know we're coming up on the top of the hour.
Yes, we are. So I
It's
guess
not
we
over.
have
So
to.
we'll take a break.
It's not over. I know
Tony's
that.
not giving up his title.
No, it's not over, for sure. But
Okay.
we can do more later, or I can give you guys a night to study and then do the final tomorrow.
We'll finish it up in the 4 o'clock hour.
Don't give me homework.
Tony's. All right, Chris versus the fans should be next. So your chance to play some trivia, 833-288-0973.
Our Fantabulous Sports Game Show on a pause. It'll return in the next segment. We've got other business to get to. Chris versus the fans. 833-288-0973. Chance to take down Christopher. Ello. Scraby's got a 1-point lead. He's feeling pretty good. But I'm starting to hawk him down.
Hey, Tony's flapping his wings right now because he's such a hawk.
You know that Scraby will, for lack of a better word, kind of stub his toe on a question late in the game.
One of my dad's favorite terms was panic master.
Panic master?
We saw a little bit of glimpse of that with Dylan Cease and his situation. Will the panic master rear its ugly head again?
Oh, that type of panic master. I don't know. That is always
We shall
available.
find out. We shall find out. Chris, you ready to play some? You ready to take on our fabulous fans?
Yeah,
here?
let's go. Let's see what we got today.
Let's get to it.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
Howdy do.
now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Let's do the prize first today, which is Motley Crue just announced a brand new Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM March 28th to April 19th, and you will be qualified for a chance to win a trip to Vegas to see the show live, including 2 tickets to the show, plus a hotel stay at Park MGM, and get your tickets to Motley Crue. The Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM, now at Ticketmaster.com. And the rules: you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question is going to get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it, and you will get the first question for free. Just realizing, forgot to put more questions in.
This is actually good for fans, because when Scraby gets in panic master mode, as he's in now,
I'm
has
not in panic
has to
master.
hurry up and put questions, they tend to be quite easy. So,
I am not panic master. All right, let's get to our first contestant. And we will go with Kirsten. Hello, Kirsten.
hello, Kirsten.
Dang it.
You're there. Hello.
Are you Kirsten?
Oh, hello, Kirsten. We got you. Oh, no.
All right. I don't know what happened. I feel bad now. She said, dang it.
I think she maybe thought we hung up on her, but we didn't.
No, you're still there, Kirsten. We'll come back to you. Let's go to Riley.
Hello, Riley. How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing well.
Hey, Riley.
Here we go. First question. Riley, you wouldn't happen to know who won the National League batting title last year, would you?
Yeah, that'd be Luis Ariz.
It indeed
Nice
would
job.
be a benefit of no questions being in there. Here we go. Question number 2. What team did Kyle Tucker...
Can't believe we're going French today. Of all things.
What team did Kyle Tucker play before the Cubs? Play on before the Cubs?
I believe the Houston Astros.
I believe you are correct. We have rolled right on into question number 3.
Rolling. Chris has he can't possibly know question number 3 of 3.
No, he knows all of these.
You think so?
Where did Adley Rutschman, catcher for the Baltimore Orioles, play college baseball?
I will go with Duke.
Duke.
Stay there.
I got bad news for you, Scraby.
How would you know this?
I told you he knew it.
You don't know anything about drafts. You don't know anything about colleges and
I
players.
know where a lot of guys went to school, and I think it's Oregon State, so I'm gonna go with that. Sorry,
Riley.
Oh, on to our next contestant.
It's nothing against you, Riley. It was the fact that Scraby said there was no way I was gonna know it.
Yes, I
Scraby,
did.
you're very good. What is the saying? Counting your chickens
before they hatch.
Chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, that's Scraby. That you would be like if there was a dictionary of it, your picture would be right next to that saying.
Okay, let's go to Jake. Who just snorted?
Wasn't that you? Snorted?
No, it wasn't me. I
All
wasn't
right.
laughing at that joke that hard.
Here we go. Who's up now?
Jake.
Jake, welcome to the show, brother.
How's it going?
It's going
Pretty
well.
good.
Here we go. First question.
First time player.
Oh, first time player.
Jake. All right.
Question number 2.
Is this Jake Cronenworth?
It
It's
is.
about time you played
No,
Jake
he would call in
Cronenworth.
Jacob.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, Jake.
Don't you get it twisted. All right. Here's a question. What team drafted Tim Anderson in the first round of the 2013 draft?
Tim Anderson.
I want to say the obvious answer is the Chicago White Sox.
That
Nice
is
job.
the
Got it.
correct answer.
Nice
Most
job.
importantly.
Go with your gut. Go
Do you
with
think
your
Tim
gut.
Anderson could play left field?
Didn't he sign somewhere already?
He did.
Yeah, he's with the Angels now.
Yeah. Here we go. Question number 3.
Forgot that for a second.
Down goes Anderson. An all-time classic from the Cleveland announcer.
All right. Who is the Chiefs' backup quarterback? I hear you on that one.
My gut's telling me Mason Rudolph, but I know for a fact it's not Mason Rudolph.
Do you want to go? You want to go with him anyway?
Doesn't sound like he wants to go with his gut on this one.
Gonna need an
I'm
answer.
gonna just pass it to Ella.
Oh,
Not
you're
gonna
gonna
pass. He's playing
You're gonna
strategy.
pass. Stay there, Jake.
Strategy move. The unfortunate thing
Oh,
here is
gosh.
that I needed the Chiefs to beat the Broncos in the last game to help Miami get into the
that's
playoffs. So I
right.
actually watched some of that game, and it was Carson Wentz who was the backup.
Sorry, Jake. I thought you had that one, buddy.
Sorry, Jacob.
I
That
don't
was
know.
a lengthy delay before the bell.
Yeah, he didn't want to push the button.
No.
He was quite irritated that you got that one right.
Yes.
And he is running out of questions already. Here we go.
We got-
He's our last contestant.
We got
basically.
3 more questions.
This guy didn't do enough questions.
Let's go try Kirsten again.
Let's try Kirsten. again.
Kirsten.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear
can you
you.
hear us?
It's Tristan, by the way.
Tristan.
Come on,
I'm
dog.
sorry.
Come on, man.
Oh my God!
Is it safe?
I was going through it quickly. No, it was no name on the thing. That's
all
why.
right. All right, Tristan.
Sorry, Tristan.
Here we go,
First
man.
time.
Oh,
A first-time player?
Ah!
You just
Good thing, because Scraby doesn't have a lot of questions anyway.
Okay,
so-
we get it.
Here's question number 2. What team just acquired Ryan Presley in a trade?
Hello? Say it again.
Didn't hear him.
I don't know. The phone's being weird.
Jesus.
Well, Ella?
Oh, they hung up. Stay there.
They did?
Yes.
No.
So what are we doing now?
It's the Cubs.
He didn't want you to answer the question because he's running out.
All right, we're gonna go tiebreaker. This is on me. I forgot to put questions in. I will make sure to put questions.
No,
in
it
for
ain't on me
tomorrow.
and Chris.
Yeah, because never mind. That was a jerk comment to make. Let's go to. Give me a number 1 through 6, Chris.
3.
Hayden.
Hello, Hayden.
Hey, Hayden.
Yes, sir. How we doing, boys?
We're doing
Good.
well, my friend.
We're good. We're good.
We're gonna do a tiebreaker, so stay right there. Do you know how the tiebreaker works?
I am intimately familiar with how the tiebreaker works.
Intimately familiar. Okay,
All right, very
perfect.
good.
I got a guy for you.
Very good.
Oh, who?
Peja Stojakovic.
Oh man, I remember him.
Oh.
Back when they were playing in the Arco Arena.
What was it called? The Barn?
Hey,
or-
Tony, I got a quick trivia question for you. Do you know who the first European player ever to make an All-Star team was in the NBA? I saw him
Sarunas
interviewed last
Marshalloonas?
night. This is
Was
why
this-
I know.
It wasn't Arvidas, wasn't it?
It was Detlef.
Detlef Shrimp. I was
Oh.
going to guess him first, too.
I need a name. If you're an old listener,
Yeah.
you know.
You
This is
remember-
like first year of the show stuff. All right.
Oh, yeah, that was
Will
Thomas's
Galvez.
classic.
No, he goes.
Will Galvez.
He asked the
yeah.
question, and Tony said Detlef Shrimp, and Will said, I need a name. We're like, we gave you a name.
he had no idea who Detlef Shrimp was.
And he's a sports dude. All right,
Yeah.
Tony,
Good
or
old
Chris, I
Detlef.
mean, how many, he was a three-point shooter.
Yes, he was.
How many three-pointers did he make in his 13-year career?
I mean, three-point shooter for those times.
Yeah,
Peja.
that's true.
I'm going to say 400.
You're going to say he made 400 threes in his 13-year career?
800.
Okay. I was like, what? You're usually like
just
spot
doubled
on. Hayden, is the
I
actual
know.
answer higher or lower?
I'm thinking more in the 770 range, so you can put me down for lower.
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 Oh,
Wow,
no.
I'm sorry, Hayden. I'm
Dang.
making sure this is right. I mean, he had 1,760 made threes in his career.
Wow.
That is a lot. That's why I was wondering if I was
He was
wrong.
getting them up.
He made over 100 a year.
He had
That's more than
200
I
made
expected.
threes. Biggest season of his career. He made 240 threes in 2003.
He was a pain in the side of the Lakers.
I remember those battles. Those
He
are
used
good
to
stuff.
shoot like a sideways spinning shot, too, that was just wet.
Kind of. I don't even want to ask what that means, but
It's all net.
wet.
Yeah.
Oh,
What that means.
Which you think? Never mind. I don't even want to know what you thought it meant.
Jose, hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good. You ready to play
Hi, Jose.
tiebreaker?
Yes, sir.
All right, stay right there, Jose. Ooh, this has never been asked before. In Peja Stojakovic's career, how many triple doubles did he have?
You're right. This has never been asked before.
Mm-hmm.
Triple doubles?
Triple doubles.
7.
7. Jose, is the actual answer higher or lower?
Wow. I'm gonna go lower.
Lower.
Oh, no.
You are
That's
correct.
why he
Stay
had like, what do you have,
there.
like 2?
None.
He had none. That's
None
not
in
to
his
say.
entire career.
Good job, Jose.
Yeah, good job,
Way to
Jose.
go.
Thank you for
Nice
helping
work,
us with
Jose.
that, but none
All
is
right.
the answer.
Let's get to the break because I'm ready to get back to whooping Scraby.
Oh, bring it.
Yes.
Bring it.
More Gwynn and Chris on the other side. We finish our Fantabulous Sports Game Show. Here's some traffic.
From the
Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, Gwynn and Chris. Our Fantabulous Sports Game Show spilled over into a second segment today. We're doing a straight-up Super Bowl trivia. Scraby is in the lead, 12 correct answers to 11. Guys, I have shaved off a bunch of questions so that we can finish this, but there's still plenty of time for either of you to win. There are 7 questions left, and they are worth a total of 13 points.
Oof.
So right now you're separated by just 1 point. So here we go, back into our Super Bowl trivia. And the first one is this. Name the only 3 teams that did not score a touchdown in their Super Bowl game, in a Super Bowl game. 3 teams have not scored a TD in a Super Bowl game. There's never been a shutout in the Super Bowl. 2 of these were very recent. One was
very
quite a
recent?
while ago.
I think I know.
I would say pretty recent, yes. Pretty recent for 2 of them. The other one was a while ago. 3 teams have not scored a TD in a Super Bowl game. Let me get you on camera here so I can see when you're kind of ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Scraby's ready, Tony?
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Scraby. Who you got? What 3 teams did not score a touchdown?
I really am feeling only good about 2 teams, but the Patriots that played the Bears back in the day, and then the Rams against the Patriots recently, and then I'm just going to guess the Bills at some point.
The Bills at some point. Okay, Tony?
I'm going Patriots, Rams, Broncos.
You guys both got 1 point. You were correct on the Rams.
What the heck?
The Rams got 3 points and lost to the Patriots 13-3.
Yes.
The other 2 teams are the Dolphins, and this is a long time ago. They lost to the Cowboys 24-3. And then the other one was just 2 years ago, or 3.
Really?
Kansas City lost to Tampa Bay.
They didn't score.
The Chiefs scored only 3 field goals in that game.
Wow.
They lost 31-9.
I should have paid attention to the downfall of the Chiefs that year much more.
That was the one time they did not win. All right, name the 2 teams seeded number 6 that went on to win the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
We've talked about this before. 2 teams that were seeded 6th in the playoffs, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. Scraby has a 13-12 lead.
I got 1.
Give me 2 teams here. When you're ready.
I'm ready for 1.
I love the thinking, man. You guys are really... The answers, unfortunately, are not up on the ceiling.
That's where I like
kind
to
of funny
stare.
to see you guys keep looking up there.
Because I look at the map on the ceiling.
I know. Okay.
All
right. Tony, you go first. You got either of these?
I'm gonna say Packers Saints.
Packers Saints were 6 seeds. Okay. Scrape.
I'm gonna say Giants Packers.
Giants Packers. You guys both got the Packers right. Led by Aaron Rodgers, they were a 6 seed and they beat the Steelers. But the other team to do it was the Steelers. They were number 6 seed back in the year they beat the Seattle Seahawks in Jerome Bettis' championship season. The Giants were close. Scrape, they were a 5 seed. The year they won.
I actually thought I got the Giants right.
Nope, you got the Packers right.
All right.
Scraby still leads, though, 14-13.
Woohoo!
Only, I think I got 5 questions left.
Ah, here we go.
Name the only 2 home teams to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, done.
Scraby's done.
Done.
Trying to put the pressure on you, T.
He is. Trying to remember what the other
2
one
home
was.
teams won the Super Bowl. Who are they?
Oh, yeah. I'm good.
Tony, who you got?
Giants and Bucks. Tampa Bay.
The Giants and the Bucks. Scraby.
The Rams and the Bucks?
Rams didn't win.
They won against the Bengals.
It was the Rams and the Bucks. Back-to-back years. That is correct. Scraby extends his lead to 2.
Dang it.
16-14.
I thought you were trying to throw me off or something.
No. Tampa Bay Super Bowl 55, Rams Super Bowl 56. COVID kind of played a part in both of those Super Bowls.
That's true.
All right. Name the only wide receiver with over 200 yards receiving in a Super Bowl game.
I think
Only
I know
one
it.
wide receiver's ever had 200 plus
Only one?
in a Super Bowl game. Yeah, only one.
I think I know.
Wow. Scraby's really... I got to give you credit, Scraby. I don't know if it's going to work in the end, but you're playing the mental game well.
He is.
You got Tony kind of... You got
flustered.
Tony stressing over there.
These are just like coming to my mind.
Okay.
Two
well, we'll
hundo,
see.
huh?
That is a lot of your
Two hundo, who had it?
All right.
All right, Scraby, who do you got?
Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens. Tony, who you got?
I didn't have Terrell Owens. I got Julian Edelman.
Oh, Edelman had a great game. The answer is Jerry Rice.
Oh, come on,
for the
Matt.
49ers in Super Bowl 23 against the Bengals.
Come on,
Neither
Matt
of you get a
Scraby.
point there. Name the last kicker to kick a game-winning field goal in the final 10 seconds of a Super Bowl game. The last kicker to kick a game-winning field goal in the last 10 seconds of a Super Bowl game. Who's the last to do it?
I'm just going to think of the first person that came to mind.
Oh, going gut.
All right.
All right, we're ready. Scraby.
I know it was a touchdown last year.
That's not what the question is.
But I think the year before, Harrison Butker kicked a game-winning field goal over the Eagles.
Tony?
I also went with Harrison Buckner.
Yep, he did it 2 years ago. You guys are both right,
Woohoo.
17-15. The only other two guys to do it are Adam Vinatieri and a guy named
I
Jim
wrote him
O'Brien way back before
Jim
you guys.
I didn't write him down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't ask it. I knew that was hopeless. All right, we have 2 questions left for 5 points. This one's worth 1 point. Name the team that scored the most points in a Super Bowl game. Name the team that scored the most points in a Super Bowl game.
Done.
Wow. Scraby again with the mental
I can't stand you
pressure.
right now.
This one I don't know.
I'm going back to my my safe word here.
What is that?
Eagles.
Eagles, Pats.
You going Eagles again? Who do you got, Scrabe?
I'm going to go with the 49ers over the Broncos one year.
Super Bowl 24, San Francisco 55, Denver 14. That is correct. Scraby has a 3-point lead. All that's left is a 4-point question.
All right, here we go.
Scraby, this would be
Here we go.
This would be the all-time fold if you blow this.
What the heck?
There's one question left. It's worth 4 points. Here it is. Scraby leads by 3. Name the 4 teams that have won a Super Bowl, yet have never lost a Super Bowl.
Wow.
Do not get confused with like the Lions and the Jaguars, because they've never even been in one. So it's not them. It's teams that have won a Super Bowl, yet have never lost a Super Bowl. You will get 4 guesses. Scraby could go 0 for 4. Tony could go 4 for 4. And that would be remarkable.
Remarkable.
Final question of our Super Bowl trivia today. Everybody should be much more prepared for the game on Sunday, now that they have a little history to back them up.
This is tough.
Guys are thinking this is it. I mean, this is all the marbles right here. Scraby's looking straight ahead. Tony's off into the distance. 4 teams that have won a Super Bowl game but have never lost a Super Bowl game. It's tough.
This is tough.
It's a tough one.
All right, I think I got 4 of my
Scraby's
best
ready to
guesses.
answer.
I got 3 that I feel really good about.
I'm not.
Feel good about
feeling
3,
great
huh?
about
I feel
this.
good about 3, but I need this 4th though.
Okay.
Won a Super Bowl, but never lost.
Correct. Never lost a Super Bowl. Tony's putting everything he's got into it, trying to pull it out. Scraby's.
We got to get going.
Go ahead, Scrape.
I don't want to give you your
All right,
4th.
Tony's ready. Scraby.
Tony is not ready.
Honesty's.
I'm ready.
Okay.
He's ready. All right, Scraby, give me your 4.
Now, I'm not sure about these, but I don't remember the Giants losing one. The Bucks maybe have only played in 2. The Jets maybe have only played in 1, and the Saints. Those are my 4.
Those are your 4. Giants, Bucks, Jets, Saints.
What a jerk.
What?
What a jerk.
Is
the
that
one time I actually get 4 down, this guy gets the exact same 4.
You have the same
I
4?
have the same exact 4.
Is that right?
What's the answer?
The answer is the Bucks, who are 2-0. The Jets are 1-0. The Saints are 1-0. And the other answer is the Ravens, who are 2-0.
Ah.
And the Ravens beat the Giants. So that's where the Giants
Oh, yeah, I
loss
forgot
was
about
in the
that
Super Bowl.
one. Kerry
But anyway,
Collins.
Celebrate, Scraby.
Nice
You're
work,
the winner.
Scrape. Nice work, buddy.
Olé! Olé! Olé!
Let's go ahead and get out of this and get to commercial.
Did you hear my
fast.
tap dancing?
Yes, I can hear you tap dancing. Big 5 coming up next. 4:38 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby. We congratulate Matthew Scraby with a nice, fantabulous win.
That's very nice of you, because whenever I lose, I'm always like, you cheated!
Yeah, this is how you get down. But that's not how I'm getting down.
Well, thank
nice
you.
work, man.
Thank you.
You always said football was your sweet spot. You proved it in that particular.
It is my sweet spot.
I was just telling Scraby in the break, but, to me, being of my generation, like Super Bowls are ingrained in my head, and then I forget that for the next generation or two, the first 25, 30 Super Bowls, people didn't even see those games. Like that is, just something that I have to adjust to.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. The first Super Bowl,
like Leon Letts fumble against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Does that bring up where he runs the ball back and Don Beebe knocks it out of his hand?
Definitely seen it many times.
Okay, but
that's
stuff
ingrained.
like that was 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
I
think Leon Lett doing the same thing in the snow in Dallas is more ingrained in my head though than
against the Dolphins.
Yeah, than the BB coming.
That was a Miami game on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was also
snowing in Dallas on Thanksgiving. It's kind of crazy.
That was fun. I remember that.
Surprising.
All right,
Anyway.
we got a big five to get to before we do so. Let's check some traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
We saw this crash involving a car and a motorcycle. It's blocking the fast lane, South 805 at the 163. Also an accident still occurring on northbound 805 before the 54. Everything's over to the right shoulder. Southbound side of the 15, an accident on the Adams Avenue off-ramp. Now westbound side of the 52, right before the 15. Two-car collision over to the right shoulder. Got this accident on the coastline 2, northbound 5 on the Tamarack off-ramp. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fact.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
You know what, guys? I think I need to read a book about Major League Baseball history so that I can have at least a small chance at the baseball categories once we get back to baseball season, because I get crushed by baseball categories.
I think you're at a disadvantage.
I'm at a huge disadvantage. Yeah. Like, that was what you grew up with, is baseball. But I'm going to still read a book before the season starts. We'll see if anything gets better for me. I doubt it.
How about the baseball almanac, Scraby? Get that memorized, and you'll be on your way.
All right, Old Hose. Remember him? He was
Old
great.
Hose, yeah.
Yes. Big Five. So I saw this, and I'm going to talk more about these things in the Scraby Show tonight. But there are players this year are trying to reach a feat that is really difficult to do. Like, for example, Bobby Witt Jr. is trying to go 3 straight 30-30 seasons, which is very hard to do. And there are several players around baseball that there are several players from baseball history that might have one more person added to the list if Luis Ariz can win his 4th straight batting title this year with the Padres. He would be just one of 6 players in Major League history to have won 4 or more straight batting titles. Ty Cobb won 9 in a row. Rogers Hornsby won 6 in a row. Tony Gwynn won 4 in a row. Wade Boggs won 4 in a row. And Rod Carew won 4 in a row. Honus Wagner won 4 in a row. So, Tony, you're up first. If Luis Ariz gets his 4th straight batting title and enters this crew, would that be enough for a Hall of Fame?
No.
No. Okay.
Unfortunately, he is playing in an age where they don't value batting titles like they used to. So that's not going to get you the same kind of cachet it got you in the 90s, early 2000s. But Luis is still plenty young enough.
He's 27.
Yeah, where he
can win like 8 of these.
He can keep stacking these up together, and then we're having a different conversation.
How many? Okay, let me change that question then. How many batting titles?
Assuming, let's say he doubled up on that.
So 8.
The hits that he is collecting in that time frame is getting him close to much more substantial number at that point. I would assume. I can't believe. I mean, I guess at today's age he could win a batting title hitting 290, but I don't think it would happen. If he's still collecting hits at the crazy clip, he's getting up around 200. Yeah, I mean, we'd be having a different conversation in terms of forget the batting titles, how many hits he has at that point.
That's fair. That's fair. Chris, what do you think? 4 straight batting titles enough for Luis Ariz? If not, how many would he need?
Yeah, he's going to need 7 or 8. And that's it's weird. I can't, I mean, Tony gets it, I guess, because his dad was going through it. But I'm going to say even before your dad, Tony, when I was a kid, you knew the batting leader in each league.
Without a doubt.
Like, it was just automatic knowledge on the playground. You know, whoever it was, Rod Carew was winning almost all the time. Bill Madlock was another guy who won a lot. But you knew who the batting race was like tracked every day in the newspaper from like August on. Nobody cared about OPS, believe me. Nobody even knew what it was. Certainly didn't know F-WAR. So, you know, in those days, man, the batting title was a big deal. Just winning 1 was a great achievement. Yeah, but now Luis Ariz is in the wrong era. You know? But winning 4 in a row, I'm going to be pretty impressed if he does it.
That would be amazing.
Especially with 3 different teams.
Yeah. And, yeah, exactly. The Padres would be the only team he did it twice for, if he does do it. Which is
Hopefully
crazy.
he does it with the Padres.
And I always feel like I think Luis Ariz is a lot older than he actually is. He's only 27. He seems like he's like in his 30s, but he's still got lots of time.
Number 4.
CBS Sports put out a list of Major League Baseball stars that would shock us beyond belief, like the Luka trade did. In order from most shocking to least shocking, here is who they said would be on the list. Shohei Ohtani, Bobby Witt Jr., of course, Paul Skeens has to be on this list, Julio Rodriguez, and Aaron Judge. So, Chris, who would you add or subtract, or would you add or subtract anyone from this list?
It's a terrible list, man. Paul Skeens is going to get traded before too much longer. I mean, doesn't everybody almost guarantee that? Plays for the Pirates. They're not going to hang on to him.
Yeah.
Soon as he's due to make a couple of dollars, he's out. We know this.
That's like 6 years from now, though.
Okay, but is it? Tony knows better than I think it's 3 or 4 years before he starts asking for an early contract raise. You know?
That's a different story, yes.
Yeah, but no, I think this list is okay. But Aaron Judge could be moved. No, I'm not a fan of this list.
Huh?
I think Shohei's good, but that's about it. I think anybody else could go.
Who are you putting? Who else are you putting on this list if not those guys?
Oh, that couldn't be traded? I think Fernando Tatis Jr. is untradeable.
I agree.
I think the fan base here would be beyond angry if that happened.
I don't know that counts, right? Because Dallas's fan base is beyond unhappy. It didn't stop him from getting traded.
That's true.
He still got shipped.
But it would shock us.
Yeah, okay. Well,
that'd be pretty shocking. Mike Trout, I mean, were the Angels going to trade Mike Trout even later in his career? I say no. Those are my additions.
Okay. Tony?
Baseball is so much different from the standpoint of it's just hard. Like, it's
hard
obvious.
To make it happen.
It's obvious Luka Doncic at 25 is one of these guys.
Yeah.
That Wembanyama's probably another one of those guys.
Yeah.
I would say based on what we know right now, you could probably add Fernando to that list. But that's it. This list is pretty spot on.
Julio Rodriguez. I can see the Mariners trading him.
Yeah?
I think so. It wouldn't shock me if he was traded.
He had a pretty good sophomore slump, honestly. You know, I mean, I hope.
Except for when they were playing the Padres.
Right, he did have a hot streak.
He was like 4 for
weekend.
5 that first night.
Yeah.
I just don't know that play, like sophomore slumps play, and that's the thing about baseball, right? I don't know that they. First of all, you got a guy for 6 years, and you don't. Basically, I can't think of a time where a guy was like, "I want a new deal right now." Like in baseball, said, "All right, let's do it." You got the arbitration. You get that doesn't really happen.
Teams usually go to them.
They're going to get all the way up until either the year they become a free agent or the off season before. That's typically how it works. So in this case, Shohei just signed his deal. Skeens is under control for another 6. Bobby's under control for another 4.
Well, he signed a big deal too.
Right,
so
he signed a big deal. Judge is under a big deal. Julio Rodriguez is under a big deal, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
So these guys, I don't see them getting traded. I would add Fernando to the list.
Okay. All right.
Number 3.
The NFL is planning to hold a game between the Rams and the Eagles in Australia in October of 2026. And Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie says he is all about it if his team is the away team and he doesn't lose a home game like he did this year when the Eagles were the visiting team against the Packers in Brazil, or the home team against the Packers in Brazil. Lurie also said, quote, "We are a natural team to play there. If there's an opportunity to be an away team there, we will embrace that," end quote. Tony, you're up first. When you think about the NFL in Australia, what team do you think about?
None.
Thank you. Why is Jeff Lee? Thank you. We're the natural team to play there.
No, you're not.
You're on the other coast. You're not even close.
Yeah, I don't see none of these teams being the Australian team of choice.
Do you know why he's saying this? I did a little digging because they have one Australian player on their team. Jordan Mailata, I think his name is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, we're the natural fit.
This is a ploy for the NFL to try to do what they try to do.
Yeah.
Push their league over to overseas, even though no one cares over there.
But Jeffrey Lurie, they're the natural choice.
Hey, I get it. He's just got to sell it.
Not the 49ers or the Chargers.
Right. None of the West Coast
Rams.
teams that are a little closer.
The ones that you can actually go to without having to fly for 2 days straight. Chris, when you think about the NFL in Australia, what team do you think of?
Can't come up with one, Scrape. Trying to come up with a, funny answer, but I don't have one.
You don't got one.
There isn't one. Jeffrey Lurie's being silly.
Okay. I'm going to see if there's... I'm going to Google real quick. Most popular team in the NFL in Australia. And what I get is the Denver Broncos is my search. So... All right.
Could be anyone.
Yeah, it could be. Let's go to the next one.
Number 2.
I know the most popular team in London has got to be the Jaguars by now. They've played like 35 games there.
I mean, the fans have seen how bad they are. How could you be a fan of that team? Sorry to our friend on the chat, Jacob. The Waste Management in Phoenix is one of the most rowdy golf tournaments in the world, and in the last few years, rowdiness has turned into debauchery. In 2022, there were zero... Bless you.
Sorry, Scrape.
God bless
Sorry,
you.
I don't have a cough button here.
In 2022, there were 0 arrests made. Last year, 54 arrests. In 2022, there were 90 ejections. Last year, 211 ejections. In 2022, there were 14 trespassers. I guess that means you're there without a ticket or something. And in 2024, there were 73 trespassers. So, Chris, why the sudden increase in just 2 years?
Have you walked around town lately?
I was thinking the same.
Phoenix?
Just in town.
Any town.
Any town.
I mean, the increase in idiots is
He's
exponential.
literally stealing my answer right now.
Sorry, Tony. I mean, you can't swing a cat around without hitting 4 or 5 idiots anymore.
Save that clip.
I must.
You can't swing a cat. 4 or 5 idiots. That's good stuff.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
I mean, in the Phoenix Open, honestly, just gives everybody a reason to act that way, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. They encourage it almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
I just think it's the increase in those kind of people, Scrape. I do.
I agree. Tony, you have anything to add?
No. I mean, he
You wanna swing
literally
any
took...
cats?
I mean, that was a good line. I wasn't going to come up with the cats, but the idiots part was like circling in my head. Like, there's just a lot more of them that have come out now. There was a time where they didn't come outside like this. But listen, this is the increase in stupidity at sporting events is at an all-time high. I think we've been seeing that with altercations in arenas, in ballparks, golf courses, and as Chris said at the Waste Management, it is kind of got a reputation for being
rowdy.
Calling all idiots.
Calling all idiots.
Come on down.
I think you guys are both right. It's not a good situation for anyone.
I mean, that's a crazy number. 91 to 211.
Yeah, that is a crazy number. You're absolutely right about that. All right. Let's hope things go better at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Because referees are constantly being called out for being bad, here is a good story, Chris. I'm going to put this up on the screen real quick, and it's actually about a high school referee, and that high school referee was retiring, and here's what the school did for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? Mr. Bukowski, we did not need a timeout. Turn and face the crowd. Tonight, Mr. Bukowski officiates his last varsity game after 51 years of officiating.
So they took a timeout for him to get a standing ovation. 51 years as a referee. He looks like he's a little choked up, which I agree. You should be choked up. But this is a good thing. I don't really have a question.
This needs to happen more. Shout out to all the rest. I'm not just saying this because my partner's a referee. Referees take abuse at a high school level. I watch it all the time. Sometimes I'm involved in it, and I need not to be. But the point is, these people aren't getting paid a lot of money. They still come out there. They give their best. We need more things like this for officials, for sure.
Yes.
Sports, the high school sports don't work without them, I hate to say.
They don't.
They don't work without them. So. You're absolutely right. All right, that's it for the Big Five. Tony is off. Chris and I are going to be taking you the rest of the way. We still got a Scraby show at 6 p.m. We'll be right back on 97.3 The Fan.
The Padres.
Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris, everybody. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby. Tony is off, taking care of a few things here for the final hour of the show today. So Scraby and I will carry you through until 6 o'clock. Then Scraby will boot me to the curb, and he'll take over with the Scraby Chronicles. I've had a lot of fun today. Dennis Lin was on earlier with us, talking a little Padre baseball and where they go from here and what they're going to do. And, honestly, I don't think anybody really knows how in the world is A.J. Preller, and the Padres going to get this team ready to go for the 2025 season. I mean, somebody has to be in left field.
Somebody
has
got
to
him.
DH. Well, I mean, Dennis Lin was bringing up Ornelas?
Yes.
And I mean, maybe that's the where you go, but I mean, what do you do in DH? You're going to put a rise at first base. Who's your DH? One of your catchers? I mean, somebody's got to be DH.
I mean, they need to find
Elias Diaz you're going to put Camposano at catcher and Elias Diaz at DH?
No, you got to find yourself a DH, like an
Mike
actual
Broussard?
DH.
Mike Broussard, Tyler Wade. Well, I mean, that's where it is right now. So they're going to have to act. We know they're going to have to do something, but what are they going to do? That's the question I keep having. And, we've talked about, okay, should you trade Dylan Cease? I don't think so. You're trading away an incredible strength of yours, which is a, all-star caliber starting pitcher. You're going to trade Robert Suarez because closers are a dime a dozen and hope you can find, Magic and Jason Adam? Maybe. But if you don't do that, you're going to have to sign somebody in the free agent pool. And here's what I came up with, Scrabe.
All right.
I list, and I could be off by one or two, and if I am, somebody I'm sure will send it to us in the chat. I have 16, that's right, 16 former Padres that are free agents right now.
That's a
that
lot.
Are available.
Who are we talking? Who are we talking, though?
Well, I'm going to give you the list. Now, I'm not saying you're going to want any of these guys or don't want, or they fit or don't fit. And again, I might be missing a couple guys in here because, the list is pretty long. But Yasmani Grandal is available. Now, I know catching is not where we're looking, but that's one. How about Ty France?
We
Former
talked about him
Padre.
earlier.
He's available.
I think that's a good look for the Padres to.
I don't hate that. I don't hate Ty France. You give him a little prove it to me money, and he goes out and hopefully proves it to you.
He's already been here.
I mean,
He's
he
familiar
fell
with the
off last
organization.
We love him.
Yes, we love him. All
right, Ty France. Here's a guy we didn't love, but he's a free agent still, G-Man Choi. Here's another former Padre, although you don't remember him as a Padre, Anthony Rizzo. Here's one that was destined for greatness. In fact, this guy and Fernando were going to form the double play combination for 10 years.
Oh, yes.
When they came up.
Yes.
Luis Urias is available.
He went to the Brewers, I know that, but I can't remember who they got from the Brewers.
He kind of disappeared once he went to the Brewers. It just kind of faded on Luis Urias.
Yeah, he was definitely the next big thing.
Yeah, him and Fernando were going to be the double play combo for years and years. Outfield, you got Tommy Pham. We've been through that before.
Yes, we have.
Travis Jankowski, interesting name.
Okay.
David Peralta from last season. I'm not going to even think that they're going to think about Matt Carpenter. Never mind.
Okay, thank you.
How about Manny Margot got a haircut? Manuel Margot's available.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Franmil.
No, I'm
Manny
talking
Margot
about
just got a haircut.
For now, Franmil, my man. No, Manny Margot's available.
He's not a bad option.
doesn't seem like a bad option. I mean, can he at least start against left-handed pitching and play the outfield a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I could see a place
I don't
for
know
him
that
on
that's
this
the
team.
world's worst option.
No, I don't think so either.
Here's the 6 pitchers that are former Padres. Right off the top of my head, Mike Clevenger, Cal Quantrill, Jordan Lyles, Craig Kimbrell, Scott Barlow, Brent Honeywell. But that's pretty crazy that just like putting that together quickly, Scrape, 16 former Padres that are still currently free agents. That's kind of weird.
You can't say the Padres hold on to their players. They
Yeah,
definitely
right?
go through some players. But the only one in the pitching list, who did you say in pitching again? Clevenger, Barlow.
Cal Quantrill.
That's the one.
I think Cal Quantrill's an intriguing possibility.
And I wonder if
He's coming off of a couple years with the Rockies where he was actually respectable for the Rockies.
And they let him go.
And, they didn't let him go. Dick Monfort's out of money. I mean, he's spent so much money on the rest of those guys.
I would like to see Cal Quantrill get another go in spring training.
All right, so let's say that we take 3 of those guys. Would you take Cal Quantrill, Manny Margot, and Ty France? Or are we just throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks?
No, I don't think those 3 guys per se are throwing it at the wall. I think those 3 guys are players that can help your team. And it's not
to me, Ty France and Manny Margot can at least platoon and bat against left-handed pitching.
And Ty France is somewhat of a DH. He can be a DH. He's done the DH.
Well, he can play
thing.
first base.
And he can play first base. So
he can
him
DH.
and yeah.
He fits fine.
I think that's a good one.
I mean, you have to just ask yourself. I mean, he didn't have a good year last year, but you know what? Jerkson Profar didn't have a very good year the year before last year.
Yeah, and sometimes bad
You
years
never
where you
know.
get let go from your team and you have to go find another team, it kicks you into another gear.
You never really know. I mean, we think we know, but we don't know. I mean, I cannot say it enough. The Jerkson Profar went not only undrafted in my fantasy baseball league, but I got him in the 7th round of our supplemental draft. Not in the 1st round, the 7th round. That's how nobody thought Jerkson Profar would do anything. And, that includes probably me. I picked him up because I couldn't think of any. Yeah, I couldn't think of anybody else to pick up.
You're like, I just want to cheer for someone this year, so I'll cheer for Jerkson.
And, anyway. I mean, Azokar was as much of a chance to be the left fielder as Profar was at the beginning of last year.
I'm checking Manny Margot's stats because we have someone on the chat. Neil says Manny Margot is awful. He can't hit the ocean from a boat. So
yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
Looking.
I haven't followed his career that closely since he left. I know he was Twins. He was
last year. He was
Rays.
Twins. He did not have a great year last year. That is true. But the year before that, 264. I know batting averages and everything, but I still think he can help you at least to start the year.
I mean, you're not going to have to pay much for him, right?
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean,
I would think all 3 of those guys. I'm not saying the Padres have got to sign these guys. I'm just trying to think of some people that fits the budget. And I've always felt that players that fit the budget are guys that have been, at least pretty good earlier in their career and have tailed off and need to prove something.
Yeah, I like those guys too.
And you get them very, very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they come back. But I mean, the person who said, Manny Margot's last 3 seasons, 4 home runs, 4 home runs, 4 home runs.
Well, that's not what he's on the team for.
But
he's on the team for stolen bases. He's on the team for.
Well, he doesn't steal many bases.
I'm looking at that now.
I
he
hate
doesn't.
to tell you.
You're right.
Yeah.
He only stole 5 last year.
Yeah, there's not a lot to recommend. I hate to say, Manny, but I'm just trying to think of guys.
Yeah, maybe Manny Margot isn't the guy for this team, but
no, but somebody's going to have to be. You're not going to go with Ornelas as an everyday left fielder.
Not to start the year. You're not sure what you're going to get.
I don't think you can do it. Anyway, Randall Grichuk is the latest off the board. The best outfielder that at least fits a little bit is probably Alex Verdugo still. He's 29 years old. He's probably going to cost a little too much, for what the Padres are, but maybe they'll have to bite the bullet.
I mean, they might have to at some point. Like, I know that they love I know the Padres like doing the creative thing, but at a certain point, there is just a time where you have to go spend some money on a player. Like, if you don't want to trade anyone, it's going to have to happen.
Yeah, they're going to have to spend something. All right, well, that's the latest, and the latest is there really isn't much other than trying to look through the list of free agents and see who makes some kind of sense to you.
What about Luke Voigt? Where's he at?
I don't know where. Luke isn't even on the free agent list. He's fallen off the map.
What the heck happened?
He was an NL home run leader like 3 years ago. And then he came to San Diego. His chest hairs were popping out.
Everybody loved it.
We all loved him. And that's it. He went to Washington in the Soto trade and disappeared from view, basically.
Oh, you just said a trigger for the chat, which is it's because Eric Hosmer sent him to Washington.
Oh God, okay.
Because Eric Hosmer.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, chat. Everything that's wrong with the Padres for the next decade is going to be Hosmer's fault. All right, when we come back, Luka Doncic was introduced to the Laker fans in Los Angeles. Luka, happy to be there, and he can't wait to prove to everybody that he's not too fat. We'll talk about that and some more as Gwynn and Chris resumes after a check of traffic.
From the 855.
Ecom Bakadaku on the same team, Robin Morg on the same team. Ecom and Morg are fighting on the left side. And now Morg is down to 1 stock, Ecom down to 1 stock. Bakadaku has 3 stocks. But Farrell needs to win this one to stay alive. Econ and Robin on the left. Morgan Bakadaku on the right. Morgan Ecom only have 1 stock. Bakadaku, Robin have 2 stocks. Now Robin the only one with 2 stocks. Everybody else with 1. Kearney took the first game. And now it's 2-on-1. Actually, Morg is back, so now it's back to full strength on each side. Everybody has 1 stock at this point. Robin looks to be out. Ecom and Bakadaku against Morg. O'Farrell needs this. Morg hanging on. Bakadaku, Ecom both with 1 life. Morg. And there you go. O'Farrell ties it up. Now we go into the 3rd and final game.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's this. Each team, O'Farrell and Kearney, have won a game so far in the championship round. Loser comes in second. Winner wins it all. Bakadaku and Robin on the left. Morg and Ecom on the right. Both floating. Ecom goes down. Everybody with 3 stocks except for Ecom, who has 2 stocks. Now Robin down to 2 stocks. Ecom and Bakadaku trying to get back on the stage. Bakadaku does. Ecom does. Again, this is the 3rd game of the championship round. Morg has 3 stocks. Everybody else has 2. Stephanie says, let's go. Robin and Bakadaku are battling on the left. Everybody with 2 stocks now. as even as it can get in the third game of the final round. Now Ecom down to 1 stock. Everybody else has 2. Robin and Ecom on the left, Bakadaku and Morg on the right, but now Ecom and Bakadaku trying to team up. Robin now with 1 stock, Ecom 1 stock. Everybody else with 2. Bakadaku and Morg 2. Ecom no stocks. But we'll be back. Bakadaku and Ecom down to their last stock. Morg and Robin have control right now. Ecom and Bakadaku O'Farrell. Morgan Robin from Kearney. And that's it. Kearney High School takes it in 3 games. So let me just figure this out just to make sure I have everything. But I believe the tournament is now over, and Kearney High School has won it all. O'Farrell has come in second, and E3 Civic High School takes home 3rd place. So thanks to everybody for watching on the stream. Ecom, Bakadaku on the same team, Robin, Morg on the same team. Ecom and Morg are fighting on the left side. And now Morg is down to 1 stock, Ecom down to 1 stock. Bakadaku has 3 stocks. O'Farrell needs to win this one to stay alive. Econ and Robin on the left. Morgan Bakadaku on the right. Morgan and Ecom only have 1 stock. Bakadaku, Robin have 2 stocks. Now Robin, the only one with 2 stocks. Everybody else with 1. Kearney took the first game. And now it's 2-on-1. Actually, Morg is back, so now it's back to full strength on each side. Everybody has 1 stock at this point. Robin looks to be out. Ecom and Bakadaku against Morg. O'Farrell needs this. Morg hanging on. Bakadaku, Ecom both with 1 life. Morg. And there you go. O'Farrell ties it up. Now we go into the 3rd and final game.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's this. Each team, O'Farrell and Kearney, have won a game so far in the championship round. Loser comes in second. Winner wins it all. Bakadaku and Robin on the left. Morg and Ecom on the right. Both floating. Ecom goes down. Everybody with 3 stocks except for Ecom, who has 2 stocks.
It's Gwynn and Chris, 519. Matt Scraby's holding down the fort in the Odyssey Palace Studios. Chris Ello coming to you live and in color.
Finally.
From Fresno, California. Yes, that was in question. If you were with us earlier on the YouTube chat, for some reason I was only coming in black and white for about, an hour?
Not quite an hour, but it was a while.
I was able to fiddle around with the buttons here. You keep pushing enough buttons, something's bound to happen. The thing that worries me is that I'm going to push a button and I'm going to make it worse. But in this case, we were able to get the color back. So
yes, we were thankful. But people actually were enjoying you in black and white.
Yeah, I like the Pleasantville reference that we got earlier.
Yes, there was a Pleasantville reference.
Well, Luka Doncic was quite pleasant today. By the way, I don't know, honestly, how to pronounce his name.
I'm pretty sure it's Doncic.
Doncic? I mean, I say Doncic, I say Doncic.
I've heard it all too.
Right? We've heard like a million different ways. And sometimes you can call them different in 2 separate references.
Yes, you can.
But like somebody who really understands the language, Slovenian.
I'm looking.
Can look at
a
the
sports
jersey.
website.
Yeah, I mean his jersey has a thingy over the first C and another thingy over the second C.
Yes,
and I know those mean something. I don't know what.
I'm looking at the phonetic pronunciation, and it does say it is Luka Doncic.
Doncic.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll try to go with that. But he was introduced to the media and the fan base and everybody in Los Angeles today, and he's got his beautiful number 77 jersey, and he's ready to go. And he's kind of funny, actually. He made threw a couple of good liners in there. He said that, he got the phone call Saturday night. Somebody told him he'd been traded, and he immediately was concerned that it might be April 1st.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So, he understood a little humor. He said it took him a while. I mean, he said that the last 2 days, have taken a month. He said it's really been tough, making this big change. But now that he's kind of accepted it, and he's into it, and he's really excited about coming to L.A. And, the thing is L.A. is ecstatic to have Doncic. Dallas hates the fact that they've lost him.
Dallas fans.
I saw some Dallas media people who wrote stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
This was the worst thing that's ever happened to the city. Ever.
I did see some of that, yeah.
Yeah, going all the way back to Jerry Jones, getting rid of Jimmy Johnson after they won 2 titles.
You don't want to be the guy mentioned with these other guys that have done bad things to the city.
Yeah, in Dallas, they're saying Doncic being treated. They want to, for lack of, better, they want to string the general manager up there down in
Dallas?
The Texas Book Depository or something.
Oh, my goodness.
They don't like this guy.
I did see
really
a bunch
upset.
of fans really upset at the general manager because I've been using this term to describe it, but pulling the rug from underneath their fans, which this was so out of nowhere. I can imagine it being extremely hard to deal with this as a fan. Because
I think I think you're right about that. But I think the other part of why people in Dallas are so upset is now they've had a chance to think it through. And they just lost the biggest star in the entire NBA who was supposed to be theirs for the next 10 years.
Yeah, they're going to see him in a Lakers uniform for 10 more years.
10 more years at least, and he's the biggest star in the league. I don't feel bad, but Anthony Davis is walking in there to a storm.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the one that people are going to be like, what if he doesn't go 30-20 in his first couple of games down there? But I'm looking at it from a non-emotional standpoint. I think Dallas is better, at least for the short term. I think they could win it this year.
If they do,
I also agree that
it makes it okay. But if they don't,
some people are even saying that won't make it okay.
Well, that's crazy.
Dallas people are going crazy.
Well, that's crazy because if you win a championship, then you win a championship. That's not going to – I understand if you're a Luka fan and all that, but this whole thing with the GM too, he did a lot of things behind the scenes. He did a lot of secret meetings, which I understand why because it's such a big deal. But there were people within the organization that had no clue that should have known before this happened. I think there's got to be some sort of internal struggle that we just don't know about, which made it so easy for him to give up Luka. And I was listening last night to Bill Ryder. He was saying that even Rob Pelinka was able to talk down the price of Luka Doncic, which I don't know how you talk down the price because they were saying AD and Austin Reeves. And he was like, no, we can't do that. What about AD and this guy? And how do you, if you're the Mavs GM, unless you need to move him for whatever cost, how do you not just wait until you get 4 first-round picks from someone?
Maybe they really wanted to get rid of him. That's been talked about.
Yeah,
the fact that Doncic is not a great defensive player. And the other part, which Dallas might just be making this whole thing up that he's in terrible shape. just to try to make themselves look better.
I'm seeing a lot of leaks from Dallas about how Luka didn't want to work out.
Yeah. He doesn't like to work out. He's in terrible shape. And Markieff Morris, who was part of this trade, said, I hear the stuff about him not being in shape, but if you can go into an NBA game and get 30 and 15 and 10 like it's nothing, then I really don't know what shape is.
That's a really good point.
I mean, he says you make the determination if he's in shape or not, but what the complaint is that he puts a lot of effort in at the offensive end, but he rests on defense. He doesn't guard anybody. So we'll see how this all plays out. He addressed the fact that he supposedly doesn't play defense today at the press conference.
I think this year I really stepped it up honestly, and it's just being more active, more vocal, and I think I did a step ahead this year. But I need to do more steps ahead, so that's what I'm planning on.
Sounds like a pretty good answer to me.
More steps ahead, he says.
Yeah,
all right.
Sounds like a good answer
to me. So he acknowledges that it's something that he's got to work on. Let's say that.
Yes.
But what did he say about being in shape, Scrape? Because I know he had a comment about the conditioning rumors as well.
It's a motive. I know it's not true. I know, but it's a motive. Like I say, I came here, one of the biggest clubs in history of sports, so it's a big motive for a long run here.
I don't know that he actually answered it. I don't think.
Well, I think he did.
He said it's motivation to.
Yeah, he's going to use it to motivate himself and try to prove everybody that that's a bunch of bull. I think that's a good way to try and do it. Let's find out.
I think people like Luka, who are so good at their sport, and it's so easy for them. It's hard to just be like, yep, I'm going to start running 10 miles every single day. Because, in his mind, he's like, hey, I'm doing fine. Maybe I need to step it up a little bit. I do believe he wants to be great, and I do believe he wants to work, but it's hard for guys that are that good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why, Jordan and Kobe and some of these guys are in another world, because they were not only the best, but then they worked the hardest also.
Exactly.
So that's a good point. I'm excited to see Doncic with the Lakers. I'm excited to see, at least for the year, how far Dallas can go with what they have. Anthony Davis is not a bad player. I mean, he's getting totally overlooked in this entire trade as if he's nothing.
I guess, I was listening earlier that the reason that he was able to be the piece that completed this trade is because he's had such a good year.
The guy can you talk about a guy getting 30 and 20 and then going down and blocking 5 shots. I mean, he plays defense. He's a force down there.
Can you?
I don't know. I think Dallas got better. I really do.
Can you imagine being Anthony Davis? He was asked about when he found out, and he said he was just sitting down to watch a movie when he got the phone call, and he also thought it was a joke. Everybody in this whole thing thought it was a joke because it's that crazy.
Yeah, I think we all felt the same. All right, we'll take a break. More Gwynn Chris coming up. Scrappy got a couple of things that we want to talk about before we say so long. So we'll get to it when we return.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low.
start the countdown. That was pretty fucking awesome. Okay, take goggles down to your neck. Crash landing, huh? What? We're gonna crash land. More or less. We're gonna hit the ground. Keep my knee. All the way about it. Pick up. Punch up. Right on all the way down. Let it break. All the way. Here we go. Up there. You idiot. Typical tandem student right there. I tried. I wrecked your good job, buddy. Fun, huh? You need help with anything? Okay, I'm nervous. Stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low.
All right, welcome back. Chris Ello and the reigning Fantabulous game show champion, Matt Scraby.
Trips here.
If you just tuned in, Scraby took down Tony today in a Super Bowl trivia. Crazy questions, but you guys were up to the task. Scraby posted the victory, and as a result, Tony felt shame and went home.
He did.
Yeah, he's gone. No longer here.
Next time I need him to stick around and wallow in his loss.
Yes, he didn't even wallow.
No wallowing.
Yeah, so we're taking it the rest of the way. Scraby's got the Chronicles coming up for you at 6 o'clock. But before we go any further, Scrabe, today's biggest fan winner.
Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Omar Covarrubias. I hope I said your last name correctly. This is a tough one. Omar Covarrubias of San Diego. Give us a call back within the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973. You'll qualify for a grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggestfan. Omar Covarrubias of San Diego, 833-288-0973. Starts now.
You're a better. Yeah, you got 10 minutes. It says 5:36 right over.
I
your
just started
shoulder
our
scrape.
timer.
So 5:46 will be the cutoff for Omar.
That's right.
You're a better man than me, man. You tried to pronounce his name like 4 different times. Nice job.
Yeah, I didn't really have a choice, to be honest.
Did well.
Thank you.
Scraby and I, we had Dennis Lin on earlier, and I know the Padre fans will want to hear that interview. Kind of the latest, and where the Padres may go, might go, what they can do, can't do, moving forward here. So we'll have that interview for you in a couple minutes. But let's we got to check traffic, and then I want to talk about this story in the NFL that makes no sense.
Traffic is not ready just yet, so let's go into the story and then we'll get to traffic.
All right, the NFL. Remember, well, a lot of it stems from last week's game.
Yes.
Between the Bills and the Chiefs. And the fact, that Josh Allen did the quarterback sneak and they marked the ball short of the first down. And some people thought he should have had it and some people thought he shouldn't have had it. But the bottom line is, and I think we all could agree on this, none of us knew for sure. Right? I mean, you could have an opinion that he got the first down, or you could have the opinion and say he didn't get it. But either way, nobody was sure.
When you say it like that, you're right. But the ball was in the middle of his body, and his first number crossed the line. So I say he was past the line. But you're right.
It's possible.
Can't prove
it's
it.
possible you were also looking at that with your heart because you wanted Buffalo to win.
It could be possible.
It's possible.
You're right.
It was so close that there's no way for sure. So everybody is talking about why don't they just get with it? The technology, they've got to have it. Get a chip, put it in the ball, and let's figure out exactly where the ball is using the technology that we obviously all have now.
Yeah.
Except for the NFL said we don't have the technology and we can't do it. And it just, why not?
Well,
because we don't believe it. We're cloning sheep. We're sending people to Jupiter. I mean, please, we can't put a little speck of a sonar device in a football?
Yeah,
it's hard to believe.
I'm with you too. I've always thought the microchip in the ball would be hard because if there's a microchip, it's only on one end, and if it doesn't cross the thing, blah blah blah. But you're right. We have so much great technology in this world. Someone will be able to figure out how to do this. Now, Goodell.
I mean, real quick, when Travis Kelce scores a touchdown in the AFC Championship game, they can cover the man with slime.
Yes, they can.
If you're watching, they can do anything.
They can do it all. I mean, they can have a Bart Simpson or the Simpsons game happening, Monday Night Football game that's mirroring what's happening on the field.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me that they can't figure out where the ball is.
So Goodell was asked
other
about
than by
this.
judging it by sight.
Yes, apparently. But he said, we tested in preseason this past year on being able to use that technology. It's complicated. Obviously, you have a lot of humanity that interferes potentially with some of that, at least from a camera angle standpoint. You also have the shape of the ball that's different, and it's about where the ball is, not where the individual is. So there's a combination of factors. And I do think that technology will exist sometime in the future. We're continuing a lot with our partners how to advance this as quickly as possible. Now, the NFL's VP of Football Business Strategy, Kimberly Fields, told the AP that after the AFC Championship game, they tested Sony's Hawkeye tracking services and in the back or during that game, and it's close to fully implementing the technology. So, a little bit of a different story.
The guy who said something that really matters to me, and the guy that I'm standing in line behind is Troy Aikman. Because Troy Aikman has been straight up honest with all of this BS officiating and all of the calls that have been missed. And what Troy Aikman said, I don't know if you saw it earlier this week, Scraby, but he said the money that is being wagered on these games, like an AFC championship game, is so astronomical that they absolutely cannot afford to get any of this stuff wrong anymore.
They can't.
And he's 100% right. It's not necessarily kowtowing to the gamblers, but I hate to tell you, man, gambling is one of the things that keeps the NFL at the top.
It does.
And if you're going to start having bad calls determine whether people win or lose thousands of dollars, you got to fix that. And I'm not blaming the actual officials. I know you are, Scraby. You think that they're really have it in for the, or in favor of the Chiefs.
Well, I have many
not looking at that.
evidence points.
Yes, I know you do. But I think the officials down there do the job the best they can. The replay, though, the technology is there now to help us get every call right. So let's just do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I've said this before, but tennis has that thing where you can do a virtual representation of where the ball bounced. And I understand it's a round ball and there's not like 9 300-pound men surrounding that ball. So I understand that, but there's got to be something where you cross the line, you trigger a laser, boom. That's how easy it would be for me, but of course I'm not the one developing it.
No, I know. I mean, tennis is a great call. I mean, they play tennis now, and you can't argue. That ball is either in or out, and then we're talking fractions of inches.
Yeah.
But they don't miss it.
I love when they zoom in
The
and
NFL
it's like barely out.
Yeah, the NFL cannot afford to keep missing.
I think Dennis has the answer, which I didn't want to say, but I will say since Dennis said it on the chat. They don't want the technology, then they can't control the outcome of the game. It's very true.
Dennis, you're a menace. What can I say?
All right.
All right, is traffic ready?
Yes, it is.
All right, and then we'll hear a little bit from Dennis Lin earlier today on the Padres.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Guys, I don't know what's taking so long to clear this accident involving car and motorcycle south 85 to 163, but I'm showing that left lane still blocked, so expect some slow traffic approaching that. Also, northbound side of the 15 past Carmel Mountain Road, there is a collision in the center divide. And getting reports of what looks like some insulation in the fast lane westbound 78 before Vista Village. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Then my man Dennis Lin of The Athletic. Dennis, how are you, man? Your off season is quickly coming to an end.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Chris. Yeah, it's a little bit sad, but I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate you and your Lakers. I know you guys never get any stars or any big names.
No, not enough.
So
never.
I hope you're enjoying this little honeymoon.
I am. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know what it means for this year, but certainly pretty happy about it. Be able to discuss it with you further when we get out to Arizona.
He has been beaming, Dennis, just so you know.
Just glowing.
Floating on air for 2 days.
He knows. Diz hears from me all the time. We talk about the Lakers during the course of the season all the time. But let's talk about the Padres. Had a couple developments here as of late. Padres restructure. King's deal seems to kind of give them a little bit of space to maneuver. I thought it was interesting at FanFest to kind of hear AJ directly address the needs of this ball club. He basically said they need 2 bats, they need an arm. I mean, how do you see this kind of playing out? Is it going to play out the same way, in a similar way that it did last year? You get into spring training, see some new faces. How do you think this is going to play out?
Yeah, as far as additions, I think that's possible. Yeah, he's obviously waiting for the market for certain guys, for their market to come down. Obviously, the closer you get to spring training, if you don't have a job, you're a baseball player, maybe you're your mid-30s, early 30s, you start getting a little nervous. Maybe you tell your agent, just take the next best deal. So that could be partly what Preller is looking for. Obviously, he did something similar last year with Turks and Profar signing him for $1 million. So his challenge in left field at least might be finding another one of those deals. At the same time, I think teams kind of see where the Padres are at, and in trade talks for guys like Dylan Cease, maybe less so Michael King now that he's signed this team-friendly deal that would probably indicate he's not being traded in the next few weeks, although you never know with AJ. I think just these guys in general, Robert Suarez is the guys that might be on the market. I think these teams probably are not making offers that AJ is super inclined to take right now, and he's hoping that as the season gets going, as spring training gets going, some of these offers improve, and maybe he sees something to his liking. But either way, he's going to keep those very high asking prices he always has. So would not be surprised by anything. I just know that if AJ is going to, trade a guy like Dylan Cease, he's going to make sure he gets a lot in return.
Dennis, let me ask you kind of something that I haven't really thought a whole lot about, because I think most of us feel that, he's going to make a deal or sign a free agent or two, right around spring training the way he did the last year and even the year before, and some people like that late in the process. If the Padres didn't sign anybody, let's say it's we're thinking, but let's just say they didn't sign anybody. It seems the pitching would be at least okay. I mean, you've got Waldron, you've got Vasquez. What would they do in left field the way it stands right now? What would they do at DH/first base? Is there anybody they're kind of high on that we're not aware of?
Well, I'm not sure I'm not sure they would be okay on the pitching side if they don't do anything. But I guess that's another discussion, right? But as far as left field, I think Tirso Ornelas, who got added to the 40-man last summer, he wasn't called up, but the fact that they added him, probably a good sign for his career. He had a good season in AAA. Now that's the Pacific Coast League, so you got to take those numbers with a pretty big grain of salt. But right now, as things stand, I mean, I guess he's at least very much in the running for maybe a platoon job in left field. I don't think that's ideal for a guy who's never played in the majors, and the guy who, if you, I guess, ask him scouts, he's probably not. He doesn't profile necessarily as a big league regular, so. So the front office is still looking, Preller's still looking for a left fielder. I think Austin Hayes is someone they looked at. He signed for $5 billion with the Reds. I don't know if the Padres are close to that. But yeah, they're definitely out there looking, because right now left field DH, they're going to build both big question marks, and I don't really see any super viable internal answers unless you're going to roll the dice on, again, a guy like Tirso Ornelas, who is very unproven.
Dennis Lin joins us here via The Athletic, and Dennis, what do you think the expectation level is for a guy like Yu Darvish? He's moving into the I would say the back end of his career. He's been very productive when he's been healthy. What do you think the Padres can expect out of a guy like Yu Darvish this year?
I think if you're banking on 30 plus starts, 180 innings at this stage in his career, that's probably a little bit much to ask. Obviously, we've seen, he's had some injury issues in San Diego, which probably pretty natural for a guy who's 38 now, going to be 39 in, I think, August. He obviously had the private family matter that kept him away from the team for a big chunk of last season. So if you're the Padres, you're counting him being around the team most of the year. It's just that the health component, right? That's going to be the big question. And he's a pretty candid guy, and maybe sometimes things get lost in translation. But I thought it was interesting at FanFest. He said he's focused his offseason on trying to get better, I guess, function and movement in certain parts of his body, because he said, certain parts of his body are just getting tighter.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what he was referring to, but probably just talking about the passage of time and age. And yeah, he's this guy who's thrown a lot of innings. He's got a lot of different breaking pitches he throws. So he's definitely got a lot of mileage on that body. So I think if you're banking on 30 starts again, that's probably a little bit much. But I think the Padres would gladly take 25 plus starts of the kind of performance they saw last September when he came back, and especially into the postseason.
Dennis, as somebody who's just a tad older than you, Darvish, if you're wondering what some of those aches and pains are, just give me a call a little later. I'll be happy to share them all with you. They definitely pop up. Dennis Lin is with us from The Athletic. All right, so the pitching I touched on, you said they probably wouldn't be okay. But let's just say they trade a pitcher. I mean, you kind of mentioned it. Cease would be the guy that they would almost have to trade, or would you maybe lean toward the bullpen and Suarez? If you were a betting man and they trade somebody, who would you pick?
Ooh, that's tough. If I were to know they only trade one of those guys, I guess I would lean towards Suarez because he's much more replaceable in theory than Dylan Cease. Now the complicating factor if you trade like one of your top starters is I think Cease and King combined for somewhere around 360 innings last year, and now you're losing Joe Musgrove. You've got a lot of guys who are still improving in Waldron and Vasquez, and I guess the old saying is you need a dozen or so pitchers or whatever starters to get through a season. And right now, if you look at what the Padres have in the rotation, I don't see close to a dozen like legitimate options. Obviously, guys are going to come up and make spot starts, and there's going to be long relievers throughout the year, but they just need more numbers. So if you're trading Cease, you better make sure you're getting some depth in return, especially on the pitching side. But yeah, I think. If I had a gun to my head, I would choose one of those guys that you mentioned, Cease or Suarez, who's going to go. I would say Suarez, but I know there's a ton of interest in Cease, and he's also going to get you the most in return. So that's why I think there is a good chance he gets dealt sometime this year. Who knows when?
Dennis, last one before I let you go, and this is something myself and Chris are going to cover a little bit later on the show, but I want to get your opinion. I mean, of these two position players in Jackson Merrill and Fernando Tatis Jr., who do you think is the most intriguing going in to 2025? Obviously, Merrill coming off of a should have been Rookie of the Year. Toddy coming off of kind of his first season back, had some injury. Who do you think is the most intriguing coming into this season?
Ooh, for me, that's another close call. But in the interest of reading too much into FanFest comments, I'll go back to Saturday where Tatis said, I guess he was asked a question about, he had said, he hasn't reached 100% of his capabilities, obviously because of injuries and other things throughout his career. And someone asked him, like, what are your abilities if you're 100%? And he said, I just paraphrase him, if when he's right, when he's healthy and his mind's right, he thinks he's second to nobody in this game. So you make a statement like that right before a season, you better back that up. I know he kind of, put it out there a year ago saying he was looking for like a Ronald Acuna-like comeback from the surgeries, and that didn't quite unfold, but we saw what he did in the playoffs, and he looked like the best hitter on the planet for a couple weeks there. So he's definitely capable of it. It's just, a matter of putting it all together and staying healthy. And on the other side, Jackson Merrill had pretty much the perfect rookie season. So how do players and how do teams adjust to him? How do pitchers adjust to him? And what adjustments does he make back? I think that's fascinating too. But for this one, I think since Toddy put it out there, I'll have to go with him.
Yeah, very interesting, especially between those two guys. Dennis, as always, man, appreciate you coming on, spending some time with us.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Chris.
Dennis Lin getting us up to date on the Padres, where they can go, where they can't go, where they're likely to go. I know where I'm about to go. Off the show. Scraby, though, not going anywhere. He's staying around for the Scraby Chronicles.
Scraby to the rescue.
Andy Reid's not going anywhere either. He said today he'll coach at least one more season for the Chiefs. With that, for Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby, we're back tomorrow, full show, 2 o'clock. See you then on 97.3 The Fan.